Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to another game of Werewolf on the Dice Tower. Today, if you watched our previous one that we posted this week, today is another game where we use the mummy. But, and this is slight spoilers here, I don't want you to get too caught up in all my mummy rules. You'll see why as the game goes by. But some really interesting psychological stuff happens in this game, and it has a very fascinating ending, as most of the werewolf games do. So keep an eye on it. Here we go. All right, welcome everybody to, what did I call this? Curses, I think. I'm going to go over the roles that we're going to start with. A couple minor details. If you are showing me, if you are at night any role and want to tell me about something, please don't use chat. Please write it down and show it to me. And if possible, please use something that is a marker or something that is very legible, because this whole show the people things like this is starting to get a little old. Because people need to be able to see it, especially for the werewolves when talking to each other. That being said, there's an indeterminate amount of werewolves here tonight. And good news for the werewolves anyway. One of the werewolves is going to also be a hunter, which means when they die, they can immediately kill one other person. And I have that here.
That's not nice for the village.
I know.
That's like having another werewolf.
Is that going to be the only hunter?
So there's an indeterminate amount of werewolves, with one of them being a hunter. There's also, as is always in a Vasel game, a Sasquatch, who becomes a werewolf if nobody votes to kill anybody. They also become a werewolf if the werewolves kill them. You can thank 2 or 3 of the people here for that rule. We also have a dream wolf. The dream wolf is told they're a villager at the beginning of the game, but they become a werewolf after the first werewolf dies. Unless, in the rare circumstance, that the werewolf hunter is the first one who dies and kills them. Which would be cool if that happened. We're going to play with the Seer. The Seer knows information, and they can ask me at night if someone is a werewolf or not a werewolf. That is the only information I'm giving the Seer. We also have the Bodyguard. The Bodyguard can protect someone once a night. That person will be protected from anyone trying to attack them. We're playing with a Villager Hunter, which means if you die, you can immediately take someone else out with you. We're playing with Frankenstein, who becomes everything else. They become the Seer, the Bodyguard, the Hunter, and one other role that I'm going to talk about in just a second, if that role dies. We're playing with the Tanner. The Tanner, if the Tanner gets killed by the werewolves, the Tanner becomes a werewolf. If the Tanner gets killed by the village, the Tanner goes home happily thinking they've won. If the Tanner somehow survives to the end of the game without being killed, the Tanner loses. Sorry. All right, then we're going to add something new here. Well, at least new for you all. We did this the other day, but I'm going to slightly change up how we've done it then. So if you watch that one, there's going to be a slight change. At the beginning of the game, 5 of you will be told that you're cursed.
Hmm.
All right. 5 of you be told that you're cursed. There is at least one werewolf who will be cursed, and other people may or may not be cursed. I will tell you. I'll say cursed villager, cursed seer, cursed whatever. It's already been randomly established, except there is at least one werewolf who's cursed.
You said there's 5 of them, or at least 5?
No, there are 5 exactly. On day 2, I'm going to randomly roll a number from 1 to 5. One of those 5 cursed because all 5 of you decided to go and open up the mummy's tomb. One of those 5 will turn into a mummy. So starting night 3, the mummy will have a roll at night. The mummy will pick somebody. If that person is cursed, the mummy kills them, whether they're human or werewolf. If they're not cursed, they survive. If they're protected by the bodyguard, they survive. So if you want to just tell everyone you're cursed, go ahead for it. But then if you're not the mummy will know who you are. If the mummy kills the last surviving cursed person, the mummy and the mummy alone wins the game. However, if the last cursed person is killed by the werewolves or the villagers, the mummy cannot win at that point, and they must wander lonely in the thing, you can throw your lot in with the werewolves or villagers, but you're still not going to win. And the werewolves will still win if they have more than the rest of everybody in the village. So you are essentially a villager at that point, but you don't win with the villagers. You lose. You shouldn't have opened that tomb.
Can the mummy be killed by the werewolves, Tom?
The mummy cannot be killed by the werewolves. So if the werewolves attempt to kill someone and it fails, you will know that either the bodyguard protected them or it was the mummy.
Or it was the Tanner, right? Or the Sasquatch.
Yeah, but that you would find out the next night because you would see that person wake up at night.
The werewolves would find out, but yeah.
That is correct.
You said the curse is at least one werewolf, but it could be more.
That is correct.
Okay.
It could also be special roles.
And Tom, sorry, if the one that turns is a werewolf, they no longer wake up with the werewolves?
No,
right?
They do. They wake up with the werewolves and as the mummy.
Okay. Crazy. Okay.
Wow.
You announced when the curse died? Like, do you say so-and-so was a cursed villager?
I will not tell you when the cursed villagers die.
Okay.
So that's from day 2 and every day or every night thereafter?
Yes. However, since the werewolves cannot kill the mummy, the villagers certainly can. If the villagers put the mummy to death during the day, I will tell you, you killed the mummy. There's 2 other ways for the for the mummy to die. Why is there a question mark after confused? Wouldn't it just be confused with a period? Okay. If the hunter, either one, werewolf or human, shoots the mummy dies. But we're also playing with the priest. All right? And the priest is the other role I talked about that the Frankenstein will become if the priest dies. The priest can read from the book of whatever or cast a spell or I don't know. I still haven't come up with good terminology for this. So we're just going to say cast a spell for now. The priest can cast a spell on someone at night, and if that person's the mummy, they die, and they're out of the game. The priest can only do that at night once, the whole game. They can do it during the day if they want to, but you are basically outing yourself that you are the priest. You can do it during the day once per day if you're the priest. I will tell you if, like, let's say, just for example, Roy's the priest and says, he just stops in the middle of everything. Could be right in the middle of a vote. He could say, I'm the priest and I'm gonna cast the spell on Victor. I think he's the mummy. And I'll just say Victor dies or doesn't die. If Victor dies, and you all know he was the mummy, hooray. If Victor doesn't die, you know one of 2 things. You know that either he was not the mummy or Roy was just someone else saying they were the priest.
Oh. So people could lie about being the priest.
You can lie about pretty much everything in this game, as has been evidenced in the past.
Okay.
Now, the priest can only do that once per day, which means if you try to do it twice per day, I will ignore you the second time, even if even if you're lying. If the priest dies, Frankenstein gets the priest's power, but if the priest used the one at night, the Frankenstein can no longer use that one. You only have one secret one that you can do at night.
And the rest you could do once per day?
Once per day, yes.
Now, obviously, the priest could also theoretically be cursed and be the mummy and never kill themselves.
That will not happen. The priest cannot be the mummy and vice versa.
So Frankenstein can't be the mummy either then?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes. I thought Frankenstein being the mummy might be too much of a thing.
Just asking because it's random.
Are you calling out every night that there's a time for the priest?
My nighttime will go like this. It will be Bodyguard. Well, not night 1, but starting night 2, Bodyguard, then Werewolves, then Seer, then Priest, then Mummy.
All right, just double checking. There's no drunk in this one?
No, I thought that might be going too far.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you.
Did I miss it?
If it helps, in the last game we did this. The villagers won at the very end. Frankenstein both killed the mummy as the priest during the day and then outed the last werewolf who was immediately then killed.
Wow. Nice.
It was a glorious thing. I hope the opposite happens here because I like it to be even. But it's up to you all.
Is there a reason why the priest would want to kill the mummy other than just because he's the mummy?
The priest is a villager.
Okay.
If the mummy wins, the villagers lose.
Right.
So,
I guess-
Tom,
I
I
guess
got it.
And the priest is clearly not cursed according to Tom's rules, so therefore the priest knows that they're not cursed.
Right. Okay.
Sure.
And the tanner wasn't poisoned, right? This is a normal tanner.
They're cursed as well.
No, my tanners are all poisoned now. Oh, no. The tanner's not poisoned for the villagers. If the villagers kill the tanner, nothing happens other than the tanner winning. But if the werewolves kill the tanner becomes a werewolf.
Okay.
So you have 3 non-werewolves at the beginning of the game that could become werewolves. You have the tanner, if killed by a werewolf. You have the Sasquatch, if killed by a werewolf. And then you have the dream wolf, who will become a werewolf over the course of this game unless killed. If they are killed before becoming a werewolf, they're on the villager team.
So, Tom, you were looking for something else besides cast a spell as a priest. Say they throw holy water on them.
Yeah, but holy water doesn't work on mummies.
What evil mummies it does.
They can call upon their deity to look in their soul.
Demon mummy.
The priest announced at the grocery store that toilet paper has been sold out. And a mob rushes the mummy. Only if it's 2-ply, though.
Is there a drunk?
Right.
There is not.
Drunk tires.
I've assigned everything. I'm just double checking to make sure I'm not missing any of the rolls or giving them out twice.
If it's a Catholic priest, they throw bourbon on them.
There are 5 cursed players, and one of them becomes the mummy. Is that what I heard?
That is correct.
And you're going to wake the priest up every night to ask if he wants to use his holy water?
I will not the first night because there's no reason to.
Okay, but every night after you will.
After the 3rd night, yes. Starting with the 3rd night.
Presumably, if the priest kills the mummy, none of the other cursed people can become the mummy, right?
That is correct.
And also, if the mummy's a werewolf and still acting like a werewolf, you're saying that they don't win with the werewolves. They only will still win if they kill the last cursed.
The mummy's on their own team. The mummy has a very difficult time of it because it's really easy for someone else to kill the last curse before you do.
Yes, except so what you're saying is that the mummy stopped being a werewolf if the werewolf becomes the mummy. Because you had said that they still are a werewolf.
They're not on the team.
Oh,
as the
I see what
werewolf,
you're
but they still
saying.
wake up
Okay,
with
yeah,
them.
you're right. They can still win with the werewolves.
Because if they're still waking up with the werewolves and the werewolves don't realize they're mummy now, that's why I'm asking that question.
Yep, that's reasonable.
Because if the werewolf was the curse to turn into the mummy, and then you had them not wake up with the werewolves would all know if that's the mummy, right?
Yes, that's exactly why I'm asking that question.
Correct.
So werewolf might be the best mummy to be if you're a mummy, because you have 2 ways to win.
I am currently telling everybody what you are.
Tom, if some of the cursed players are killed before you roll that die, will you just roll in between the 3 or 4 cursed that are left? If say 1 or 2 of them died.
Ask that question again.
So there's 5 cursed, 1's a werewolf, but if one gets lynched on the very first day, so
sure, it will be a number rolled between whoever's left.
Yeah, because you'll roll it at that point, not beforehand.
Yes, I don't know who it is at the beginning.
Okay.
On another note, if you are the cursed werewolf or the hunter werewolf, you cannot tell your other werewolves at night that information.
Another question. Did you say that the mummy, the win condition is that they have to kill the final cursed player? They don't have if the villagers kill a cursed player, that doesn't make it so they can't win. They just have to kill the last one.
They have to kill the last surviving one. So when we're down to one cursed, if the mummy kills that cursed one, the mummy wins.
Okay.
All I know is if the mummy does win this game, the video better be called "I Want My Mummy."
Wasn't that
I'll
what
make
I
sure that
called the
doesn't
game
happen.
initially?
Like to nominate Jason?
I second.
Second.
My fourth.
I haven't even got my role yet. I just like that there's a mummy, and I like that mummies can be made into a joke.
Is it a bad time to say play this game?
To say what?
I'd like to nominate Victor now.
Oh, by the way, I feel less bad because I just got a private message from Guami basically saying that the same joke that I made was made Friday too. So now I feel less bad about "I Want My Mummy."
I think you should feel more bad now.
Yeah, because it's already been used and you said it again. Yeah,
It's
Well, I
not
was
original.
here Friday, so I didn't know it was used.
I wanna know, would a regular werewolf be more frightening or a mummified werewolf with toilet paper around the werewolf? Would that be more frightening? I don't know, or would it just be funny?
I feel like if I had a mummified werewolf chasing me, I would have to at least stop and double take. Like, wait, what?
Well, it'll probably be slower. That's for sure.
That's right.
I think
Maybe
he'd have a
trip
problem
himself
with the toilet paper in his fur.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw some water on it and it'll get tangled up in his own.
All right,
his own
everybody
toilet
should
paper.
have their roles. Anyone not get one?
No, is Melissa in this game or not?
I haven't.
No.
I don't have my role.
All righty. Well,
Hey, Tom, I think Matthias said he didn't get his role.
Yeah.
well, check your messages. I definitely sent it to you.
It's because all the other people
Sorry,
sent
yeah.
messages at the same time.
All right.
have a
Okay,
question.
everybody. Let's get this show on the road here. Good night. Now, I try to make my villages different each night, but I'm going to use the same story because I'm out of options. Once again, everyone here has built a village on top of an ancient Egyptian burial site because you're all fools. And you also don't know you're in a movie because in real life, no one would care. But 5 of you did stumble upon a secret, but you're keeping it from everyone else and from each other because apparently you all decided to wear masks when you did it. Werewolf masks, actually, which is ironic. Speaking of werewolves, let's get the show started here with any current living werewolves looking at each other and seeing who the other ones are. Thank you. And we'll start with the Seer now. Who would you like to know about? Thank you. No need for the priest or the bodyguard night 1. So, good morning. All right, everybody, you found I came to town here and I was that guy who screams at everyone and says you shouldn't have built on this, on these tombs. And I was really annoying. When your cars would drive by, I would yell at you from the corner, waving like little mini pyramids. So I'm dead, but you're kind of glad because it was really, really slowing traffic down. Question is, who did it? Do you want to kill someone? And if so, who? The floor is yours. Also, you're all
Nominate
muted.
Jason.
Is that an actual nomination?
I'm just kidding.
So I have a thought. If no one else has any thoughts, anyone else could chime in with
Imagine that.
thoughts.
Write it down. Write it down.
See that coming.
But if no one else has a thought, here's my thought.
Yeah, none of the other 25 people have a thought.
No, I'm offering the table to everyone else first before I alpha this. But here's my thought, which I think will help us the village. If the Tanner comes out, I'm willing to kill the Tanner, and the Tanner can win the game on their own, and it helps the village. I think it's better than the Tanner turning into a werewolf. That's my only thought.
Hey, thanks
And
for
I'm-
joining us tonight, Tanner. And then you're done playing. It was fun, wasn't it? For 2 minutes, you enjoyed yourself.
Win of your life. I mean,
I like
Hey,
that.
it
I like
worked
that.
for me.
I like Jason's idea because that takes some real skill by the Tanner. Jason's like, just tell us you're the Tanner and you can win. That's some skill.
I mean,
Just being the best for the village, for real.
Yeah.
Assuming the village wins. Jeez.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something because the first game of this I played, we did that stupid vote to not kill anyone on the first vote. So if the Tanner does this for whatever reason, if the Tanner does decide to come out, do not nominate them as the first vote because let's get some info before we go to bed.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And if Jason asks you to come out as a Sasquatch, don't do it.
No, the Sasquatch.
Not going to happen tonight.
The Sasquatch in this game has no reason to come out because they, no matter what, they're going to turn into a werewolf at some point. There's nothing good about them being on our side, unfortunately. So,
well, I mean,
Right.
by your logic, the Tanner could just nominate themselves.
Again, though, Jason.
Yeah. Why would
Jason,
that's? Yeah.
Jason, you're going again. Like it's possible, it's probable that they will not make it to the end, but the Sasquatch can always make it to the end as a villager. I don't know why you think it's impossible
because if
for
the
them.
Sasquatch comes out, the werewolves will kill the Sasquatch and turn him into a
In this
Sasquatch
game,
overnight.
if they're killed by the werewolves, they become a werewolf.
Right, I got that. I'm
So
just
it's
saying that
different than how we played it.
he said it's 100% that the Sasquatch is going to turn into a werewolf at some point. That's not true. They could make it to the end.
It's not 100%. The point is, there's no reason for the Sasquatch to come out because all it does is help the werewolves.
Yeah.
If the Sasquatch comes out, it helps
So
the
now
werewolves.
you're turning that into the Tanner should come out.
The Tanner helps our side. Yes,
We definitely need someone to come out.
I mean,
Why don't you come out, Jason? What are you?
Someone to die.
Now, what are you, Jason?
I think that should be our new thing. Jason comes out on day one and tells us.
No matter what he is.
How many games have you won as a werewolf?
I don't think I've ever won when I was a werewolf. I think we lost the game.
Lies.
You did win as a werewolf. I was a werewolf one of the games with you.
Oh, that's right.
He's already lying in this game.
No, I was the werewolf when Kyle was the Frankenstein, but I didn't start as a werewolf in that game.
You were drunk dream wolf.
Jason, how many werewolves are in with you tonight?
I have no idea.
You can't count that high, or
No, I have no idea because I'm not a werewolf, so I haven't seen how many werewolves there are. So I have no idea.
So did you look for one at night, or?
So you're asking me if I'm the seer now? I'm not the seer either.
I'm just trying to figure out what you are.
I mean, you could
Notice
just
he hasn't.
are you
Did he
the
say he's
seer?
a plain old villager yet? Because I don't think he did.
do you want to come out as the Tanner?
He has not said plain old villager.
Are you the Tanner, Jason?
If I was the Tanner, I would have said, I'm the Tanner, kill me. I would have woken up, said, I'm the Tanner, please kill me. It will help the village. 100% I would have done that.
I think we
coming
should.
out is a good idea. Like,
I think
Jason's idea is a good idea. I guess someone who was the Tanner and died on the first day, successfully winning for myself. I mean, I didn't come out, but I basically kind of came out.
Yeah, I think so too, because number one, you've had the most fun because you've had like a full 10 minutes of play. 10 minutes. And number two, it took so much skill that everyone is going to think that you were amazing.
Somebody's speakers are echoing through.
I don't understand this thing about skill. Isn't the whole point to win?
Yes.
You keep bringing up that it takes. Who cares how much skill the Tanner has? If the Tanner dies, they win.
So there is a variant, the Tanner, that excludes every other winner. Do you really want Tom to do that to us? Because he will eventually. If we
eventually he'll do it, but eventually he'll change the rules of the Tanner because I just brought this up. I don't care. In this game, it makes sense for the Tanner to come out.
I think in the prior games, right, that the Tanners come out at something else that we would be interested in killing. And since we can't kill, for example, the Sasquatch or vote not to let somebody turn a Sasquatch turn to a werewolf, then the only alternative is to have the Tanner come out.
Well, we have another alternative. We can ask the werewolf to come out.
Oh, I know what we should do. We should roll an eye, and a random villager should come out. Like that way, we have a town crier, as it were.
So I mean, it might make sense. I mean, the Tanner may want to withhold that information and try to win as a werewolf too. I mean, that might be what the Tanner wants to do.
Is that what you're trying to do, Jigsaw? Is that what you're trying to do?
No, that's what Jason's trying to do.
What do you mean? If I was the Tanner, I would have come out. I'm being 100% honest with you. If I was the Tanner, I would have said, I'm the Tanner, kill me. I'm fine winning right now, and I'll help the village. I would have done that already.
So
what would you do if you were a werewolf?
If I was a werewolf, then I don't know what I would do in this game because there's a lot of tricky roles. But I'm not a werewolf, which is why I'm asking the Tanner to come out.
So any other time that you don't say you're 100% being truthful, you're not being truthful?
Maybe he wants Tanner to come out
he's 100%
into a werewolf.
Jason created a box for himself.
I'll come out and
Thank you for someone coming out.
I will say, the villagers are the people that normally have no clue what's going on. It's crazy that you're like, I know this and I know that. Well, how do you know things?
Mm-hmm. So I think I want to get rid of Jason just because he has no space between his first name and last name and his name. And I can't stand looking at that. So can we just I think we nominate him. So
It's not even
Psychological reasons.
that's for you, Yahoo.
The werewolf will also want to know who the Tanner is.
And also
So,
his first
very
letter.
werewolfy.
Yeah, exactly. Is that capitalized?
Who just said that the werewolf would want to know who the Tanner is?
I did.
Who?
Say your name.
Tyrus.
Tyrus.
Okay, that's making me more suspicious of you, to be
Okay.
honest.
Why? That's
He's taking
100%. That's 100% logical.
Yeah, that's just
We're
logical.
going to want to turn the
Why wouldn't
Tanner
they
into
want
a
to know
werewolf.
that's
How
her?
does that make me suspicious?
Yeah, of course the werewolves want to know who the Tanner is. I could give them another person.
Yeah.
Not if we kill the Tanner this
kill them
turn and they
before-
win. That's
Yeah,
the whole
if
point.
but I'm saying I think he means if that doesn't happen and they somehow target the Tanner.
Mike,
All right,
was
that's
that a
been
serious
long enough,
nomination?
everybody. I'm going to need an actual nomination or a nomination to vote for nobody.
The safest nomination is to kill the Tanner. It's the only thing that we know that a regular villager or a special villager or anyone who's a villager doesn't die.
Okay, we need a name then. We need a
I
name.
say you take out somebody who hasn't talked yet.
Yeah.
I'm with Roy on this
I don't think I
because
talked
I've been
yet.
asking,
Don't
does anyone
vote
want
for
to
me.
claim Tanner and win?
Talk
No one's
now.
going to claim Tanner and win,
Oh,
which makes no
Jordan
sense.
talks, he's good. I nominate Josh.
No.
Roy nominates Josh.
Another Josh.
Which Josh?
Which Josh?
I'll second.
Josh F.
Jmac.
All right, and
I'll
Jmac.
second.
Okay, you've been nominated second at Josh. What's your defense?
I'm just a normal villager. If I die tonight, it's about as much fun as if we hung Tanner day one for the Tanner. Go ahead, though.
Anyone else have anything to say? Thumbs for Josh. Do some mental math here.
Which direction is which?
This means keep him alive. This means kill him.
Your camera's off. Up
Your
is
camera's
save,
off.
down is kill.
Down is kill. Yes.
Whose camera's off?
Yours
Well,
is.
you're on the second screen, Tom.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even realize it was on the second screen.
All right, here we go.
I
Ready?
thought you turned it off so it was easier for us.
No, I want you to see my face when I tell you to nominate somebody. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. That is. Okay.
Jason, why are you trying to kill Josh?
Jason and Sonia
Sonia,
and Malachi
stop
voted
it.
down. Everyone else voted up.
Why am I trying to kill Josh? Because he argued against the Tanner coming out. It's my logic. Anyone who argues against Tanner coming out, I feel is a werewolf because the Tanner is the best thing.
Josh didn't Josh didn't argue
Josh
against
didn't say that.
Tanner.
He literally just said in his
Argue
defense.
against it. I
said
said
he
it's
is
logical,
the
but it wouldn't be
Tanner.
a fun game for them. Something can be logical, but
I would
also
love to win
not
on
fun.
turn one. I would love to win on turn one. What's not
Sure,
fun about winning?
but Jason, not everyone is like you. there is some people for some reason enjoy fun more than winning sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thought.
I mean,
It is. It's very crazy. Yeah.
Is Jason just
Crazy.
playing a really good Tanner right now? Because I'm like so close to wanting to nominate him, but I feel like if I do, he's just winning.
Yeah.
I would say we have to
So
nominate
what-
somebody else, but I don't
Okay,
think I'm
why-
allowed
why
to
s-
start another one. So.
Sonia, why did you vote no, Sonia?
Because I just wasn't sure. I was listening to Josh and I was like, I don't know. And so it's first vote, What do you do?
No, we don't know. That's why we're asking.
Well, that's the thing. It's the first vote. It's the first vote out of possible 3. So that would tell
On the
me
first day,
you'd want more
no less.
information, not to kill someone off just because.
Well, maybe.
Especially for dislike.
Maybe I wanted to make the game interesting. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have some bad news for you, Jason.
Anyone
If
that
you
wants to
want
make the game
nobody
interesting
wants
or
to.
make things roll always makes me suspicious.
Does
Wanna get
do
out
it,
of
Nick?
here.
Nomination, please.
I got a question. Jigsaw, why did you call out Sonya and ask her about her? Because a lot of people voted no.
What?
Actually, only 2 people voted no.
Only three people did.
2 people.
I just happened to be on the bad part of that one. That's all.
Okay.
No, only 3 voted no.
I'll nominate Crystal just to hear from her.
No as in
All
kill
right,
him.
Crystal's
or
been
no as in-
nominated. Is there a second for Crystal?
Maybe I'm confused on where the thumb goes. Hold on, sorry.
No second.
Mike, 22 of us voted like this, and 3 people voted like this to kill.
Correct.
Who was the third no vote?
So this was a
Malachi, and she did it, or he did it very, very late.
Okay, so there's no second for Crystal, so that's that. I need another nomination.
I nominate Jason again.
Roy nominates
I'll second.
Jason. Jason, you've been nominated in second. What's your defense?
Roy, you're going to screw up this whole game, is all I'm telling you. Right?
You kill me every other game. It's okay.
That's
true.
I'm trying to help us.
Sorry, who seconded that? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Josh did.
Okay.
But be silly, Roy.
As
It's
Jason
fine.
would say,
Whatever.
he nominated me. Now I'm suspicious of him.
Is that it?
Yeah, I know why you seconded me, but again, I still think the Tanner should be the one we kill.
All right, thumbs for Jason. This is the second vote of the night. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so I got Victor, Mike, Yahoo, and Malachi. That's 4, not enough.
Okay, Malachi's the one who voted down twice.
Yeah.
Malachi's the one who voted down twice.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the obvious vote. That's the obvious third person.
I would go with that.
I think
I'll let him explain. Before
Yeah.
we
I don't want to kill people without any real information.
We
You're
have
voting
to.
down to kill. Down
You're
is to
voting
kill.
down
Voted
is
to kill
kill.
twice, though.
Oh, I thought voting up was kill. All right, sorry, I've never done this before.
That's his first game. That's fair.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Well,
Sonia W.
Up is
Why did you vote to save Jason after you
Right.
voted to kill Josh?
Because I played with Jason for I don't know 4 or 5 games, and I'm really giving Jason the benefit of the doubt.
I would
Like-
have thought that would have had the opposite reaction, but that's just me.
Why are you all
but-
over me, Roy? What have I done? I've done nothing except come up
The
with a
last 2
logical
times I played, you
reason
killed me the first
why.
night. I think it's funny.
So I'm listening.
Game and you were a werewolf.
Hold
I was
on,
just here, you were a
Jason.
werewolf, Roy.
Jason.
Let
Hold
her
on.
talk. Holy.
So Jason's going through his logic, and that's fine. But I was listening to the other stuff, and so for right now, I think he's innocent. That may change, but for right now, it seems like he's innocent, and that's why, right?
So,
Victor wanted to kill Jason.
Do I have a third
He
nomination?
always wants to kill Jason.
right.
Victor
That's
and Mike
nothing
always
new.
go after me, and you seem to be always going after me. Or at least you're mad.
Do I have
because of the
a
one time I was
third
a werewolf.
I just think it's
nomination?
funny. I voted up to keep you alive.
I'll
vote-
nominate Sonia.
Nominate Jason. He got to me.
All right, who nominated Sonia? Which
Sonia?
one?
Which one?
Sonya.
Sonia W.
All right, is there a second for that?
I second it.
Yes.
Oh, Blake seconded it. All right, Sonia, you're on the chopping block. What's your
You
defense?
said you just seconded it, and I'm just trying to help
No,
you.
Victor was
My
going to attack me in a
goodness.
second.
So
It's
Blake
not that
did.
I
Blake
like you,
seconded.
Sonia, but Victor was about to
So-
attack me, so I had to second it.
That
So-
does make. I have to say that does make sense because if there was no second, I was going to immediately do it to Jason. So
Wait,
that
who
does
did we
make
just
sense.
Exactly.
lose?
Victor is vengeful for some
So-
reason before even testing people.
Jigsaw.
I think we lost somebody. Yeah.
So
Jigsaw.
I am a villager. I was born in the
Okay.
village. I'm a villager, and this first round is always tough. And I'm playing with a whole bunch of new people I've never played with, and so it's
No
just
Huckleberry?
New.
No,
No,
Huckleberry?
not this time. But I know where to
Uh-oh.
find it in the village.
Uh-oh.
I know where to find it. I'm a villager, you guys.
Is it
Don't
gonna
vote me
hurt us?
out.
Opportunity before we have Sasquatch Werewolf.
We're going to allow talking for a few more seconds because we've lost someone, and I'm waiting to see if they jump back in. Was it Jigsaw that we
I
lost?
went to go set up the game.
Jigsaw. Well, should we nominate Jigsaw?
Well,
Is it important that we wait for Jigsaw to join back because he's a werewolf? Is that why we're waiting?
No, it's important that we have everyone back in before we vote. But I mean, if we can't do it, we're just going to have to vote. I mean, I'm going to give him about a minute, so you can keep talking about Sonya.
That was a rhetorical question. Sorry.
And how I'm from the village.
Are you a special villager, Sonya, or is it not going to hurt us if we vote you out?
Did you say special, Tyrus? Because I heard something different.
I thought I heard something different too. I was
what
just gonna let it
did you
slide.
I'm not going to repeat it, but it was
Right. That's not what I heard.
Special.
Oh, like I said, I'm a villager, and we're going to keep it at that, whether it's special or not.
All righty, well, we're
Just makes
voting.
me more suspicious. Vote, right?
Yeah,
We're
this is
voting
number
here.
three. Third vote.
This is the third vote. So thumbs up means keep her alive. Thumbs down means
keep me alive.
Put her to death. If you keep her alive, then we go to sleep without having taken out anybody.
Keep
Ready?
me alive.
1, 2, 3. I think Mike started voting up.
Mike
but
started voting up and flipped his vote. We all saw
Malachi,
that.
I did.
and Sonya,
I'm sorry. I should have. My bad. Sorry.
That's okay. That's not enough. Sonya is gone, and Sonya was indeed a villager.
Villager. Happy birthday, Tom.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Tom.
It's not till Tuesday, though.
Birthday.
All righty. Good night, everybody. Alrighty. Okay. Well, that was an exciting day. We're going to start off with the Bodyguard. Bodyguard, who would you like to defend tonight? You can defend yourself. You can defend someone else. You can not defend the same person 2 nights in a row. That's all. Thank you. All right. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer. Who would you like to know about? And that is everything for tonight. All right. Good morning, everybody. Now that we are starting here, I think Jigsaw's coming back finally. And
Did
that's
the old lady send him away?
no. Alrighty, that is it. Nothing else happened as far as you know last night.
So there's 3 scenarios.
Hang on, before you give your 3 scenarios, Jason, I'm going to be picking now one person to be the mummy.
Oh yeah, there's still the mummy scenario.
Well, no, the mummy was not in effect last night.
Yes, there's still a mummy coming up, but there's some scenarios also.
All right, I'm going to be texting the person who is the mummy. So if you don't get a text from me, you're not the mummy. All righty. So now the mummy and priest will also be going off at night, and the priest, of course, can reveal themselves anytime during the day. But yeah.
So
thank you. By the way, Nick pointed out here, if you are if you're just watching a game, please don't use the chat for that because people can see the chat.
So no one died last night?
No
So
one
here's
died
the
last
scenarios.
night.
No one died. The scenarios are either the wolves attack the Sasquatch, who then turned to a werewolf, the wolves attack the Tanner, who turned to a werewolf, or the wolves attack someone who was protected by the Bodyguard. Those are the 3 scenarios, and the only 3 scenarios. So now we probably have another werewolf, because 2/3 of the time, whether it's the Tanner or the Sasquatch, it turned. Hence why I kept saying we should kill the Tanner.
Jason, couldn't it have been the mummy they attacked?
No, the mummy wasn't in effect till just
Mummy
now.
didn't turn until the day.
Yeah, but
made the mummy just now.
Tom could have just not wanted them to die.
No, because just to clarify the rules on that part, there was 5 cursed people. I didn't know which one was a mummy until just a moment ago when I randomized it.
Okay.
Yes, if you're bringing up stuff, if that's trying to confuse us, that's making me more suspicious of you because you brought up weird stuff last turn too. I'm just letting you know. But those
Jason,
are the
don't
scenarios.
be suspicious. I am just a villager.
And just so you know, here I have some notes. Mike, Scott, and Kyle all looked at their screen when Tom said to look. So Mike, Scott, and Kyle, I think, are cursed or mummy or something to that
like
effect.
extreme metagame there, Jason.
I was just looking at Nick's chat.
I'm just throwing metagame out there because they all clearly looked at the screen when he said to do it.
Okay, Jason, whether that's true or not, that's a little scary because now you're just giving, like, if that is true, you're giving targets for the mummy.
Fed them to the mummy.
Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that is not
That
good.
is not very smart.
To help us. Maybe that wasn't. Maybe I just realized that was dumb and that it would help the mummy. But I was trying to pay attention and give information to everyone because I'm trying to help.
What information does that give us? Really do? It doesn't really.
Yeah, that doesn't. That
Well, okay,
Bodyguard.
You guys
turned into a mummy. And what was the third?
Tanner,
What?
Bodyguard,
Tanner,
and-
Bodyguard, and Mummy.
Sasquatch could have turned, and the Bodyguard could have saved.
Well, at least you guys know I'm not the mummy because if I was the mummy, I would have kept that hidden. At least you guys know that.
As long as Tom, because there is that dream wolf. If the werewolves killed them, would they also be just dead?
No, if the werewolves killed the dream wolf, they're a villager when they die. They don't know, whoever the dream wolf is does not know they're a werewolf until a werewolf dies.
I just wanted to make sure that wasn't another crazy scenario.
The dream wolf will be. You've told them that they're a villager right now.
I've told them that they're a villager. Yes.
Okay.
Really?
Could have been Sonya.
Yes.
Sorry for my internet going out.
It could have been Sonya, and if so, then they will not become a werewolf.
Good.
Hey, I think the vanilla villagers need to come out. Oh, and I'm changing my name.
The problem with the vanilla villagers coming out is that it lessens the targets for the wolves.
Yeah, if plain villagers all decide to come out, then the wolves just start targeting not those people, right? I mean, I guess a special role could always just say that too, but then you're just kind of throwing it up in the air again.
Yeah,
so.
we're not getting any actual information from it.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a good idea.
Sense.
And I mean, the werewolves would all just start saying they're a plain villager too.
Right.
Exactly.
Wouldn't we have
really
24
counterclaim
people
that.
saying they're vanilla villager?
Yeah, we're all going to
Then why wouldn't the Tanner?
Why wouldn't you? Because at that point, half of them are like 75% of them are lying anyways.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, is the Tanner have an interest in coming out this day?
Yeah, Tanner, you've made it through one round. You've had enough fun. Go ahead and just do it for the team.
Yeah. Don't be greedy.
I think if the Tanner got turned into a werewolf, they should definitely tell us who they are now.
Yes.
All right, so because I got kicked out, it looks like Sonya got killed. Was she a werewolf or a villager?
Villager.
Okay.
It was all Jason's idea.
No, it wasn't all Jason's idea. Please stop. It was Victor who was
Jigsaw,
like, I'm
to
chasing
give
it.
Jason defense on that one, Sonya got nominated, but literally as someone was nominating her, I was going to nominate Jason. So Jason seconded the vote.
Actually,
Because I mean, he was going to get nominated if there wasn't a second. So
I think Blake seconded it.
Yeah, we had.
Blake seconded.
Blake seconded the vote as well.
Blake was actual
Yeah.
second, but I was going to second it anyway.
right,
Yeah.
Jason was
I
speaking
actually
up
trusted
about it.
both of them more when Sonya was helping out Jason, but then Jason turned on Sonya. I was like, I feel better about the whole situation, honestly. Helping each other out the whole time. I was going to be like, they're both bad, but then she was a villager, so now I don't.
But Roy,
I'm not
if
as
you're
hard
a
on
villager-
Jason anymore, you know.
Roy, if you're a villager, why are you trying to be happy if villagers are dying?
I'm not happy if villagers are dying. I'm just trying to figure out information because I have 0 of it.
Yeah, I figure you probably have 0 information.
Wow.
I think that was a stab at you in
The place
life,
of the
Roy.
rest of us who have tons of information.
I have a feeling that since the Tanner's not coming out, that the Tanner got turned overnight, because the Tanner would have come out this round. There's been like 4 people. who
I
have
really
called
disagree
out.
with that, because even if you're the Tanner, you want to experience and have a game. Not everybody is just trying to win as quickly as possible. You just want to have fun talking.
Or they want to be on the werewolf team.
Yeah, they might want to be.
Well, that's possible too.
Yeah,
But just wanting to have
What
more
are
of a
the
game
odds
than
of them
5
actually
minutes.
just targeting the Tanner without the Tanner coming out?
1 in 25.
It may have
1 in
happened
24.
last round.
It's the same thing. It's the same odds.
No,
1 in
It's less than
24.
that.
1 in
Yeah,
24
The
because
odds of
Sonya's
the Tanner is 1 in 24 at
Just-
this moment.
Just
Like,
as the same as the
what,
Sasquatch odds and the
4.5%.
Bodyguard odds. They're
Yeah,
all
I
the
guess
same.
it's actually technically 2 out of 24 between the Sasquatch and the Tanner, right?
And
Tanner
I
has
guess
such
then
an
you also
easy-
I don't want to
deduct
fix
the
all your
werewolves
odds, but
It's
there's
ridiculous
also the
how easy
werewolves.
the game
know
is.
each
Yeah, the
other
werewolves
are.
know
The
who
werewolves.
Yeah.
That's true.
Odds are a lot
That's
Odds
true.
is probably more like 2 in
Yeah.
19 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I guess if the werewolves, unless the werewolves are really bad and target one of themselves.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How about this?
The
Who have
Tanner
we
either
not
A,
heard
just
talk
randomly
yet?
gets killed and wins, or B, gets turned into a werewolf,
Chip,
which
I haven't
makes
heard
their
Chip
team
talk.
bigger and helps them win.
Now, let's hear
So-
something from Chip. I haven't heard Chip talk.
Well,
There's
I've been
someone in
trying
here
to
named
talk
Chip.
for.
Oh, okay.
There's
Oh, I think you were muted, Chip.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been trying to talk for a while, but it's hard over a bunch of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I couldn't refrain from nitpicking at the 1 in 24, which was clearly wrong. Not only because the werewolves know each other, but also given how big the discussion about the Tanner was. Like, if you're a werewolf and your goal is to have a useful kill, they probably narrowed it down after all that discussion, judging by our reactions to like 4 or 5 people who could have been the Tanner. So
Really? I give props to them then, because I would have had. I didn't really have any
werewolves.
clue.
The other option is that the bodyguard protected Jason and the wolf protected Jason, and that's what happened.
I'm just gonna be honest. I don't know you. This is the first time playing with you, but that is a super smart thinking what you just said, and I guarantee that the
Well,
werewolves.
that's the kiss of death. You're dead, Chip.
100% trust you.
No, I'm being honest. That Chip actually said something. The werewolves, because there's multiple werewolves, they have less than a 1 in 24 to hit one of the Sasquatch or Tanner. And there's people like me who clearly aren't the Tanner that they wouldn't try to turn because they know I'm not the Tanner, because I've argued that the Tanner should come out so vehemently. So he's
Yeah,
right.
but you could lie too.
Why would I lie about not being the Tanner and being the
werewolf?
Because Jason, you're so good that you knew as the Tanner you wanted to be the werewolf. So you would play up being the Tanner, but we want to kill you, but the werewolves would know.
No, Victor, I wouldn't do that. Victor, I actually like you. I actually like you, Victor.
Tremendously.
I'm trying to be
I hope
nice
we
to
all.
you.
I hope we all like each other. But I need a nomination.
Victor, I 100% like
That's
you. I'm
not a
trying to be nice to
nomination.
you.
Jason, I'm just giving you a hard time, Jason.
I'm going to give you both a hard time. I need a nomination.
Okay, since it's the first nomination, I'm just going to nominate Scott just to hear him talk, because I haven't heard him speak yet.
Sounds
All right.
good.
Is there a second for Scott?
Sure.
A second.
For the
All right,
same
Scott,
reason.
you've been nominated for pretty much no reason.
Yep, that's fine. And if I was the Tanner, I would have came out. I agree with Jason because I want to leave a champion in this game. But I am just a plain villager. I don't know anything. If you want to kill me, that's totally cool because I'm just a plain villager. And that's my defense.
All right. Well, it's time to vote for Scott here. Thumbs up once again means keep him alive. Thumbs up means kill him.
You just said thumbs up means both.
Yeah.
Thumbs up means keep him alive. Thumbs down means kill him. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
You might be the safest person ever.
I mean,
Unanimous vote.
Scott. You're dead at night.
That's number one.
Scott,
Do I have another nomination?
Scott, you're either the
nominate
best
Sonia
liar
L.
ever or you got a good defense.
I will nominate Sonia L for the same reason.
All right.
We haven't heard from her.
Sonia, you've been nominated. Is there a second for that?
I'll second.
All right, Charles seconds it. What's your defense?
My defense is that this is also my first game. It's kind of hard to talk over everybody, but I am just a villager, and I think it would be very unfair to kill both Sonias on the first 2 nights. That's just too mean. Too mean.
I agree.
I'll accept
Good
that.
defense.
Good defense.
Best defense ever.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's better than a birthday defense.
Thumbs for Sonia. All right, ready. 1, 2, 3. And that defense worked. All right, unanimous again.
Now, quickly before we get anybody else chiming in about something, who just did that nomination?
I did.
That was
So the
William and Charles.
the only thing that kind of initially pops in my mind for William quickly doing that, and this could be me now going to be thrown to the wolves in this making a statement, but I thought that was interesting that you kind of just quickly did that to burn our second nomination, as in the third nomination person is probably going to get killed.
Right. So if to keep it away from possibly someone else, maybe.
Yeah, like
Or
as in
to keep us from getting information, possibly. Is that what you're saying?
no, as in like maybe William has a particular thing in mind. So now if someone else gets, whoever gets nominated now, you got like a 99%.
That would have been the
dying.
case no matter who was nominated. I don't know how that really points to anything.
I think he was just talking about how quickly the nomination.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to actually say anything in saying that William is anything particular. Just pointing as a fact.
I'm the villager. That's it.
Charles second both of those.
Background was a villager, and he is not anymore.
Yeah, it was Charles that did both.
Yeah, I'm more suspicious of some of the seconds too.
Yeah, I seconded them both to just hear from them. Hadn't heard anything from them. Get more information.
Well, here's my feelings. Does anyone want to still be the Tanner and come out as Tanner? 'Cause that's still our secret.
Not happening. Not happening, Jason.
No, if not, then obviously
That ship
Charles
has
or William,
failed.
one of them has to be our person.
right.
Either Charles or
It can already
William,
be a
or
werewolf
if the
now,
Tanner
Jason,
wants
though.
to say they're the Tanner. It's the three that make the sense.
No, Jason, if you're gonna throw me under the bus, I'll
I'm nominating
keep
William
you
right
in
now.
there.
Then before you
All
get
right,
a chance,
Jason
I nominate
nominates William. Is there a second for that?
So I better keep my hand down.
All right.
That's an interesting statement on its
I'm
own,
more
Charles.
suspicious of Charles and William if we're going to go after the last.
Well, Jason's throwing me under the bus for 2 nominations,
not
so
throwing you under the
I'm
bus.
not going to
William
nominate
is the
again.
one I'm nominating.
Are we having is there a second?
There is no
Are we
second. The nomination doesn't go through.
Nominating Charles.
Yeah, I
All right,
seconded.
Victor nominates Charles. Is there a second for that?
Yeah,
I think Matthias did.
All right, Charles, what's your
Okay.
defense?
Well, I'm just a villager. That's the main defense. I think what got me in here was seconding both of the round 1 and 2 votes, and I feel like that was warranted to get more information from people that hadn't been speaking up. I mean, without the information, we're not going to get anywhere. And quite frankly, the talking back and forth about Jason and everything didn't really give us any new information. So,
all right, thumbs for
But
Charles.
what are you, Charles?
I'm a villager. I said that to begin with.
Thumbs for Charles.
Regular villager, if it matters.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Oh no!
All right. Well, Charles voted up, and so did Malachi, and that's it. Charles, you are dead, and Charles was indeed
I
a
am
werewolf.
a werewolf.
Everyone,
Yes! Yes!
everyone, check your
Malachi.
screens. Everyone, check your screens. If you were a dream wolf, you are now a werewolf. If there was one alive. All righty, and good night. Maybe that was the only werewolf. But wait, that werewolf didn't kill anyone on their way out. All right. Well, let's start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to defend tonight? Cannot be the same person as last night. Thank you. All right. Werewolves or werewolf. Look at each other. Thank you. right, Seer. Who would you like to know about? All right, Priest. Do you want to use your one night power? Thank you. Mummy. Mummy, who would you like to go after? Thank you. All right, good morning. Before we get to the sad news, let me tell you the good news that for some reason I didn't keep good track on my notes yesterday. That was quite a good kill that you all did, because not only was Charles a werewolf, he was also the mummy. So, be that as it may.
He was?
Nice.
He was?
He was. So,
wow.
There you go. That takes out half my game, but we'll keep going. The werewolves
Can somebody
are still
explain
in it.
to me the implications of that?
Nothing.
You don't have to worry about the.
You don't have to worry about the mummy.
And it's a normal game of werewolf.
Yeah, we don't have to. The village, as a village, we only have to worry about winning against the werewolves. We can't.
That's
can't
correct.
lose to just
and
the
we are
mummy.
no longer. I'm not going to even call the priest at night because it doesn't matter at this point. And if you,
And I want to say something else that's good. There's
no,
people
you're
that-
not, because I'm still talking. Tyrus, you're dead. I'm sorry. Tyrus was killed overnight, and Tyrus was a villager.
Oh, he was one of the good ones.
Oh.
And anyway, so the mummy and the priest, that whole scenario now is no longer in effect. The mummy lost. If you're the priest, you're just a normal villager essentially. And
the curse don't matter either.
If you're cursed, the curse has been lifted. Mostly because the villagers killed the mummy really fast.
So now, here's something I want to say. I know I got ripped on it for last turn, but I noticed that Mike, Scott, and Kyle looked at their screen when Tom talked about the curse. If you guys were cursed and you were villagers, now you could come out and say you were cursed because you're safe. And if so, you guys are then considered safe.
I was not at Nick's text. I was never cursed.
I was actually message came in the chat to everybody at the same time.
Sorry, I was muted. I was not cursed.
I was cursed.
You were cursed, Matthew?
Yeah,
Okay, so Matthew was.
That
So we
doesn't
know-
mean he's
I was
safe though.
cursed.
He said at least one werewolf. So that means
I'm
it
just saying I
could
was
still
cursed.
be.
I was cursed.
Jigsaw
But
saying
Charles
it too?
was a
I
cursed
was
werewolf,
cursed.
and he turned into the mummy.
Victor, you're saying you were cursed.
Yeah, I was one of the cursed
He didn't
villagers.
say one. He said at
Who else
least
was-
one.
Yeah, we know he said at least one, Josh, but we want to know. We want to hear.
So,
who was
Victor,
cursed.
were you cursed?
Yeah, I was a cursed villager.
And Jigsaw, did you say you were cursed?
Yes.
Okay.
And Jigsaw. So only
And-
3 people in our group
and
are saying
Matthew,
they're
right?
cursed.
So there's one.
So in
there
other
would be
words-
one more potentially.
Maybe
Who
someone
could have died before that?
Yeah, maybe that. That's true.
Maybe Tyrus can be
Because
someone.
Charles was one, right?
Charles was one of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Charles-
He was a werewolf. So that's. I mean, for all we know, it could have just been the one werewolf out of it, right?
We have to hope. We have to hope that at least we have. I mean, chances are all 3 of them aren't werewolves, because even if one of them might be a werewolf, all 3 can't be, because there's no way every werewolf would be cursed and no one else.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
Oh,
Sure.
and another possibility is that somebody lied and said they were cursed.
Yes.
well, we would have had 5
Imagine
people
that.
say they were cursed. Then we
But
would
if-
have more people come out cursed if that was the case. I don't think anyone lied.
Oh, okay.
We're allowed to
Okay,
lie,
so
Should
though.
I
right?
take everything back from the beginning of the game? I think we're on the same team. We finally did it. Let's do this.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Roy, for believing me now.
So
Listen, I may have nominated you, but I thumbs up for you not to actually get killed every time.
So
But Malachi, he thumbs up for the werewolf to live just a
why
second
did you
ago. So
thumbs
there's
up-
that.
Yeah.
Malachi, why did you
that
thumbs
was
up
a
for the
little
werewolf?
sketchy.
You were the only one, and it was the third vote, right?
third
So we
vote.
would have had a
Yeah.
Sasquatch if the Sasquatch is still here. Why did you vote for him?
I didn't know that he was anything. I'm just a normal villager, so I really don't have much information.
Can I ask you a question, Malachi? Do you understand what happens with the Sasquatch if we don't kill the third person? Do you understand that part of the game? Because I know you're new. That's why I want to ask this, because I know people are going to rip on you for your vote. So do you understand what happens with the Sasquatch if we don't kill someone in the third one?
No. I forgot, sorry.
You need to explain it to you very, very quickly.
Sure.
If we would have let that person live, there's someone in our group who's a Sasquatch who would immediately become a werewolf if we don't kill someone, which is why everyone voted down except for you in that third vote.
We have to kill
and I
on
know
the
you're
third one.
new, and that's why I'm asking you this question to make sure that if you voted it because you actually meant to vote it, or if you don't understand that the third vote must kill.
And Malachi,
You've
that's
done it
also
twice now.
that's why I was calling out earlier too about like the fact that William quickly picked the second, because I was going to say 99% of the time, whoever's voted the third time, we're going to kill them because we don't want the Sasquatch to turn.
Okay,
And we only get 3 votes, right?
Yes.
Right.
We only get 3 votes. And that's why I'm asking this to Malachi, because I just don't feel like Malachi, he hasn't done really werewolfy things, but I also, I'm just being honest.
He's voted thumbs up for everybody. I think he just doesn't want anybody to die.
Yeah, he's voted to keep everyone alive the entire game.
I think he didn't understand the rule of the third vote because he's done it twice now. And
He's actually voted down the first 2 times, but he said that he thought that was to not kill. So
yes, so I think that he's
or Malachi is like the best player ever.
Yes. He's either new or he's
I like that option.
Didn't understand how the Sasquatch worked, but thanks.
So that's why we're informing you. That way, if you
all right, I think
survive
we've
this
informed
round-
him. Let's move on.
Okay, we're good.
Well, okay.
So are we still mad at William, or?
Thanks,
I
Roy.
don't. That was a nice redirect, Roy. Yeah.
So Sonia,
I'm just trying to figure stuff out.
I agree. I still think Charles looked. I mean, he ended up being a werewolf, but I think that the quick second looks a little bit more suspicious than nominating someone, right? Like, and his defense was a little weak too, Charles. I'm talking about when he's talking about how he wants to hear from people. Well, you don't even give like. You'd think you'd give other people the chance to second it, just to not have.
Exactly.
I have something to pile on to William, and I hate to say this, but William first went up and then quickly went down with his vote. I noticed that. I
ever did that, Jason.
You did, and that's why that's why I have a check mark next to your name that says William went up and then went down. You started.
He has a video replay screen cap that he's going to replay for you. Real quick.
just blame it on internet lag.
Video screen capping it later, but William started to go up and then went down.
Last vote went like that.
It didn't.
It did.
I was the background.
So in that case, Jason, I definitely doubt your motives here because I know what I did. I 100% guarantee I just voted down. So
for the record,
aspersions on me makes me question where your loyalties lie, and I don't think it lies with the village.
For the record, I have a screenshot, and you're handed exactly what you suggested.
Ooh, me or him?
And I don't even remember how I vote, so that's pretty awesome.
You have the screenshot of the very beginning because his hand went like this and then went like this. And it wavered and it also took longer. Please look at multiple screenshots and you'll see his hand took longer.
It's so funny how much metagame stuff you bring in, Jason.
Oh my
You guys
God.
doing like
Yeah,
shutters, like, you know,
Was he a
speed
shutter frame
screenshot
by
clicking
frame?
or something?
This is what people do now, Roy. If you pay attention enough, you have to watch the hands, especially
frame by frame.
Yeah, the screenshots aren't enough. Soon everyone's gonna have a camera. And
Enhance.
they're gonna
Zoom in. Enhance.
We need some officials.
Enhance that.
My
replay will
screenshot
prove me
hasn't
correct.
going down.
If you take the
Tom, can
screenshot
you
and you
institute
rotate it
re-
all the way
instant
upside
replay
down,
for
then he has a
Werewolf
thumbs
games?
up.
Was there a Illuminati symbol in there somewhere?
Oh my
Can
God.
you
Can it be like,
let some of the
all right.
people who haven't been
Do
able
I
to
have any
talk there?
nominations?
Who trusts Jason 100%?
I think we all do, right? Isn't that?
I mean, 100?
51% over 100.
There's only one person who doesn't trust me, and that's William, but he's also said a bunch of shady things and done a bunch of shady things. So
Yeah, if you kill me, I'm a villager, Jason, and everyone will know that you're a werewolf. So it doesn't matter to me. Please nominate me. I'll take you on.
You'll be next.
Is that your logic?
That's such a weird thing to say, though. We had this in the game yesterday. It's such a weird thing to say because if you guys are just, especially if Jason's basing this off something that didn't happen, you guys could both be villagers, and then we kill one, and then it's logical to kill. You say it's logical to kill the other.
We should move off this too and find something else.
Yeah, I would have never said
that happened
like
last
that.
game
It's a
too.
weird ultimatum.
I'm
That
gonna
ultimatum just-
make a nomination, Tom.
Thank you.
And it's purely for the whole thing about getting someone to talk. Nothing else other than that. I'm gonna vote for Blake.
All right, Blake's
purely
been
because I just want to
nominated.
hear him talk.
Is there a second for Blake?
Sure, I'll second it.
All right, Matthew seconds it. Blake, what's your defense?
Okay, don't kill me. I am a villager. I would love to talk. It's just the time has been filled a little bit, so I kind of haven't known what exactly to say. I don't really have any information to contribute at the moment. I have a few suspicions, but
Who's your suspicions?
Be careful with that. You called the wrong person, and it's like
Yeah.
vengeance the rest of the game. I'm telling you,
you know what?
experience.
keep me alive, and I'll share it afterward. But you don't want to kill me.
There's a
all I can
unique
say.
defense. I like
All right.
the defense.
I like it.
All right, thumbs for Blake. First vote. Ready.
First one?
One.
First vote.
Roy's turning his lights off.
That was great, Roy. Ready? One,
Green two.
2, 3.
Get your screen cap, Jason.
Oh, Josh, what was that?
Did anybody switch, Jason?
What was
Please
that,
don't tell
Josh?
me that Josh didn't
I
put his
completely
vote there.
flubbed it.
All righty, that's unanimous, sort of, with Josh wavering and Chip going
Completely
diagonal.
flubbed it.
But yes.
Chip, are you hitchhiking or are you?
Yeah, another nomination.
I was trying to
Josh has
screen
been
cap
arguing with me a lot. Also, I just
left-handed
want
while
to
voting.
get a
So.
point.
Do you remember there are
Nominate
23
somebody, Blake.
people? There are 23 people alive, or 22 people. I'm sorry. We need to keep moving. I need another nomination.
I'll nominate Matthias. He's played before. He's been really quiet this game.
Is there a second for Matthias?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
All right.
He seconded Charles.
He's always
Seconds
really
it.
quiet,
Matthias?
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
always really
Matthias,
quiet,
you're on the
and-
chopping block. What's your defense?
Yeah, I'm always really quiet, and I second the nomination to kill Charles, and he was a werewolf.
Hey, did you guys say that he's played before and he's normally talkative?
I didn't say he's not.
No, he's always
They said
quiet.
that, but I think they're
Okay.
basing it off of like not usually the defense of new people is that well, I'm new, I didn't know when to jump in, so
Gotcha.
All right, thumbs for Matthias. Ready. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have Blake and Jason voting down. That's not enough. All right, I need a third nomination.
Blake, why did you vote down?
To be honest, it was just a random suspicion. Just watching the grid, I don't know why. But when I said I had suspicions, it was actually Matthias. But if it didn't go through, it didn't go through. So
Who else were your
Is
suspicions?
there anybody else you're suspicious of?
Yes, tell us all now since you said you would.
Do it now.
Spill the beans.
So Matthias could be nominated again just by a different player.
Just by a different player, yes.
I mean, I would not. No, don't take it as anything other than just a general suspicion. It could be totally off. So
Jason, why did you vote down? Because you also voted down with Blake.
Because I was afraid that William was going to quickly go, I nominate Jason in the third vote, and I wanted to hopefully not get to a third vote due to that. So I wanted to hopefully the second vote would kill someone so we didn't have to go through a third vote because I'm very scared of a quick third vote nomination, which it shouldn't be based on.
I
who
don't
can
know
jump
why
in
you're
first.
attacking me here.
I was afraid you were going to attack me, is what I'm saying. I didn't say I'm attacking you. I said I was afraid you were going to attack me.
But he has it
so
now, so.
Yes, exactly. So I feel better about William now that you didn't attack me right away. But I was waiting for you to jump in and go, I nominate Jason. So I was hoping that the second vote
was that a
would be
nomination?
No, that wasn't.
To nominate Jason?
soliloquy or something, wasn't it?
Is anyone else besides me suspicious of Josh?
I'm suspicious of Josh because he's argued against the Tanner for a few turns, and I still think if the Tanner
Once again, did not argue against the Tanner. I
No,
just
he
said
didn't,
it's
yeah.
logical, but that doesn't make sense as a Tanner because you play a short game and that's not enjoyable. I guess if all you care about is winning, it's enjoyable. Never said they shouldn't. I said it makes logical sense.
So if you were the Tanner now, would you give yourself up to win the game at this point, or would you still try to be a werewolf?
I'm 100% making the Tanner poison next game.
Hey, Tom.
I know.
You have to do something.
It's
It's
like
You
or
think the
Ouroboros
Tanner
of just repeating the same.
Okay,
Hey,
so do
Tom,
you think the
I've
Tanner
already
should
made a nomination. Can I make a second nomination, but for a different player?
Yours was the last one, right?
No.
No, mine was the first one.
You can make a nomination for anyone you want.
Jason.
All right,
Victor, you don't
Jason's been
wanna do that.
nominated. Hang on. Is there a
Why-
second for that?
Why,
Victor, you don't want to do that, and I trust you, Victor.
Well,
I don't
Now you
anymore.
make me feel bad. All right, make me feel bad.
Can I nominate Victor?
No,
well,
I think
so.
Victor's
Yes, I guess wait until did anybody second mine
Hang on a
and then Roy
second.
you can.
Is anyone nominated? Seconding that, I mean.
Victor
All right.
nominated Charles, so don't nominate Victor.
Okay, then that does not go through.
Oh, Victor nominated Charles?
Yes, I did
Yeah.
nominate Charles. Yeah.
Yeah, don't nominate Victor. Victor
Okay,
and-
never
All
mind.
right, Matthew nominates Victor. Is there a second for
No,
that?
no, I said don't nominate Victor.
Yeah, don't do
I
that.
said don't.
Don't nominate Victor.
Let's stop the nominating of Victor.
Fine, but I do need a nomination or we're going to sleep.
I want Chris to say something. He says he's killed all these werewolves. It doesn't seem like he said much.
I'm an experienced werewolf killer. I just don't need to talk about it. No, I got a little suspicion against Matthias, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, I do too, but I didn't even vote down, so I don't know how much it is. But I don't think we have much at this point.
It is really hard.
Do we just take out Matthias then?
But why would he second?
We got to do somebody. Sasquatch.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Well, but the thing is that
10 seconds.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
What was that? What happened?
What?
We have 10 seconds to make a nomination.
Someone nominated.
Why would Matthias second Charles?
Yeah.
If he was a werewolf.
Nominating
Jason,
Matthias.
pick somebody.
All right,
Not-
Matthias has been nominated. Is there a
I think
second
Matthias.
for that?
Wait,
I think Matthias
nominated.
got one in before
Sonia
that.
seconded it. I'm sorry, what?
Matthias nominated somebody before, but I couldn't
Yeah.
hear what it was.
I nominated Josh.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Okay, thank you. Josh has been nominated. Is there a second for that?
Yes,
I'll
just
second.
because
Yeah.
a Sasquatch is going to turn. So.
All right, Josh.
Sorry, I've just seen him go a couple times with the
Yeah.
thumb. I don't know.
Josh, what's your defense?
Doesn't really matter. I'm dying tonight. I'm a normal villager. It's not going to affect the town.
Is this the second or third vote?
It's a third.
He's
the
just
third.
third, unfortunately, and I think Josh is good.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, I don't know.
All righty, and Josh was indeed a villager.
Sorry.
Good night, everybody. All righty, well, we're going to get moving here as quickly as we can. We'll start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Okay, thank you. Seer. Who would you like to know about? All righty. Good morning, everybody. Well, good morning to everyone except for you, Scott. You have died mysteriously overnight. The coroner's not sure why, but we only found your toe, so that's not helping matters. Who would have killed Scott? The clock is on.
Yeah,
Scott was a
I
villager.
think it was a werewolf, right?
Why would they have killed Scott? Scott didn't say anything yesterday.
Maybe they figured it was a seer being quiet.
He was clearly a villager.
Yeah, sometimes
but,
quiet people have roles, so
yeah,
they make for a good
Yeah.
targets.
I don't know what makes sense at this point. I mean, obviously the Tanner doesn't want to help the village side. We know this.
So there's a chance that the Tanner
dirty, rotten
turned,
Tanner.
right?
Matthias is the one who pushed against Josh to not get himself voted.
Yeah.
So he seems the most logical because he has suspicion.
And then that's a little scary in that way because, again, it's one of those things where the werewolves are hearing the same thing as what we're hearing, right? So maybe the werewolves think that if by leaving it like that, Matthias might be picked by the village to kill. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I'm thinking, and I'm gonna back off of something I said before. I'm thinking that William, because of what you said, Nick, that I don't think William is a werewolf because William was like, if you kill me, then you're a werewolf. Like William was too strong about it, and what you said about that both of us could be villagers, and that's just a crazy thing to say.
Yeah,
I think that I trust William more because of it. I think, or at least that's the way I'm feeling right now.
So
that's how I feel about it now. That's what I'm saying.
I think it makes sense. And I just think it's a scary proposition because you make it. We'd be making it too easy for the werewolves if you guys are villagers, because then the next day it's like, they were a villager and they were saying this must be this person. So I just think it's a little scary to throw that out there like that. But I do agree.
Exactly.
Because
so the one time I was a
think
werewolf
would say that.
So the one time I was a werewolf, it was easier just to let the people who were fighting against each other nominate each other and kill themselves off.
Exactly, which is why I don't think you're a werewolf, and I think that you're good because of that, because you were arguing with me so much that I don't think you're a werewolf.
So, and I'm probably going to get killed for bringing this up. The Seer has had 4 nights of seeing. We have a bodyguard, and we potentially have a bodyguard, potentially have a Frankenstein.
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing, Matthew.
I mean,
I agree with that.
assuming the 4 people they've seen are still alive. Like if they saw Tyrus and Scott, then
hopefully they're still alive.
Well, hopefully, but I'm saying if they have 4 people who are still alive in the game, even if they're just all villagers, it would be helpful. And then even if the bodyguard can't save them, at least the Frankenstein hopefully could take over.
So I would say the Seer should only come out if they have seen a werewolf that is currently in play,
or possibly if they have seen.
I agree.
I would disagree.
More
with
people
that.
who are still in the game.
Yeah, if they've seen, if the Seer has seen 4 villagers and those 4 villagers are still alive right now,
still alive.
That's huge.
That would be huge because with a Frankenstein, you still have
people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 people. Yeah, exactly.
I kind of think I don't know if Jigsaw's thing is better or your guys' thing is better. Okay, let's just go around the table. I'm curious. How many people think Jigsaw thing is better that the Seer should have seen at least? Why are you laughing, Tom? You always laugh at me.
I like you going around the table here. That just cracks me up.
I'm not gonna vote, Jason. I'll tell you.
Go around the Zoom here.
I'm not gonna say one way or the other because I'm kind of in between, and the reason is I say they should, if they've seen 4 villagers, I believe the Seer should come out. If there had been no werewolves killed, because we're kind of getting nowhere. But if we've already killed like the mummy and the werewolf, which is kind of a big threat, so it's hard to say where the village is at right now. But I would have said for sure if there was no werewolves killed at this point, I think it would be smart because we get some information and we've been kind of dragging our tires. But
I think if they've seen 4 people that are still alive, whether they're villagers or werewolves, the Seer should come out.
The other benefit is we'd have 4 people that we can trust and we can listen to what they think.
Wait, no, because we had the dream wolf for the first 2 nights.
It's true.
So the first
Not necessarily, right?
we had the dream wolf.
The dream wolf.
Yeah, the first
I
2
was gonna
nights.
say
the
we're looking
dream
at
wolf
at least
doesn't
3
find
more
out right away.
werewolves
Oh, wait.
minimum, right?
Probably.
Because we have
We're at
Dream
like
Wolf,
5, really.
Werewolf Hunter,
Maybe 6.
potentially.
Yeah. Also, the first night look not count because somebody likely got turned. It could have been somebody got protected the first night, but it's also possible somebody got turned.
Yeah.
Of course,
So the first 2 looks would have been
coincidence for them to
potentially
look
bad.
exactly at that person and that person to be the one to turn, but it's possible.
And
It's
the dream
possible.
wolf has messed up in the
And the dream.
dream wolf, totally messed
So
up.
I've noticed something. I've noticed something, and I want to just throw it out here right now. when I asked that question, only one person really argued against the Seer, and that was Matthias. So I still think he's a werewolf, because he's the only one who argued against it, and he's also the one we're all suspicious on. So just throwing it out there now, which I don't know if that helps us or doesn't help us, but Matthias is the only one who argued against the Seer.
Because we have the first 2 nights we had the Dream Wolf, and we can be sure for those two first persons that Seer looked at.
Kind of makes sense, but I still don't trust him.
Okay, I'm just a player, so if
and that's coming from a professional werewolf.
Yeah, right. Killed 1 or 2.
Can I call on somebody?
Yes, Blake.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't going to nominate. I was just going to ask a Yahoo because he takes copious notes and has a lot of thoughts and theories, and I haven't heard much from him.
So I had 2 good games. I don't know that. I think I've earned more of a reputation than I deserve.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead. You just want to hear what I have to say. So the people that I am watching are Mike D, and you, and Jmac. And I don't remember 100%. Yours is a half hash. So I played a game with you, and you were all like loosey goosey and like cool. And you're definitely not coming off that way this time. Like you're like much more reserved. I don't suspect you, but I did notice that you're not as. But that was a smaller game as well. So like you met, and also I believe you were drunk at that point.
Yes.
And
drunk
because he was a quiet werewolf, and I don't think I've heard him say anything that he wasn't prompted for.
No, Yahoo, you got me worried because like I know you in real life, and you're taking this copious notes. I feel like you got like a document on me, like somewhere.
No. I'm ashes for you being good because you claimed that you were cursed, which there's no reason to doubt that, and a couple of things that you said, and you're actually defending Jason, which I know that you're not inclined to do. So and it seems like Jason and Roy are good. Oh, I forgot to mention. So I do think Jason's good, but I don't know. I'm just an idiot.
No, what? Hold on. What was your comment there about Roy? What was that?
Well, so Roy and Jason appear to be working together. So if Jason's good, I think Roy is good. But I don't know.
I definitely don't want to be working with Jason. I just want to make that clear.
No, why do you always attack me, Roy?
Because we've been on the opposite teams every other game.
I need a nomination.
So are we going for Mike or what?
No, what? All
right, Last time I played with you, you were way louder than you are this time.
And every time I played this game, I'm dead in the first night or the second night. So this time, my wife was like, "Please, just stop talking, okay?" And I was like, "All right." So I'm like,
"We're past those nights, so you're good, right?"
I'm going to try to be nice tonight and just listen. And I'm just a villager.
He must be the tanner. He wants to enjoy
himself. I'm just a villager. I'm just like listening in. But I have been watching everybody, and I'm usually pretty good at picking up on somebody who's like overacting or like playing the part a little better. I have not picked up on anybody tonight so far, except for one person that I'm suspecting, but not enough yet. But I'm just a regular villager.
Throw out the person. Just
Jigsaw.
Jigsaw said he was cursed, so we have less reason to doubt him.
In the very first day, Jigsaw said a couple things to defend Jason. What didn't sound kosher to me. Yeah. And not that you're bad, Jason. I trust you, Jason. But Jigsaw threw out a couple things like, "Oh, I'm defending Jason." I'm like, "Why are you defending Jason? You have nothing to go on."
I really do need a nomination.
I'm going to nominate Jordan.
Who nominated Jordan? Oh, Matthew nominated Jordan. All right, Matthew, go ahead.
I'm always down for nominating.
I'm not saying Jordan's bad, but Jordan, if he's a good player, usually has some good insight. So I want to let him tell us.
All right, is there a second for that?
I did second it, but I don't like the reasoning that I got. But I guess I'll go with my second.
All right, Jordan, you've been nominated. What's your defense?
Well, my defense. Oh, Roy's locked and loaded. Here we go.
Come on, let's wait.
Yeah, so start off, I'm a villager because that's what you're supposed to say at this point. It's also true. But I don't have a ton of information. So I have just been trying to pay attention to everybody. I feel as clueless as many of you guys are coming off as well. Only that is how I really feel inside. And so that's what I got.
Is that overacting, Mike, or?
I think he may
So-
be the,
so-
he may be the
so-
Tanner.
sorry.
He's pre-voting.
Jordan, just
the
to
first
confirm, Jordan, you don't have any ideas and you think the village is clueless.
I am with the village in the cluelessness.
Thumbs for Jordan. Ready?
Is this the first vote?
This is the first vote. Maybe
First
the
vote.
last. I don't know.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. No one voted
Oh,
against
good. I don't have to
Jordan.
nominate anybody. Good job, guys. I will take people down if I have to.
Is that a nomination?
No.
Okay.
He was all cheerful. Now he got all like dark and serious.
I know, right?
What just
And he
happened?
put his head closer to the camera. He's like, I'm in the camera now.
I need another
mad.
nomination, please.
So
All right,
one
so-
thing I noticed, I want to throw something out there that I noticed. When Yahoo was calling people and he called Mike, Mike started laughing really hard when he said Mike's name. So I'm a little suspicious of Mike because of it.
All right. So I called out Jigsaw a little earlier. Anybody else have suspicions of him, or is it just me?
Just you, because he said he's cursed.
Suspicious of everyone.
Victor,
I just
would
have
you
little
say?
hashes here and there. It doesn't mean nothing.
Okay.
I'm
It-
less
Can I just confirm who was
Jason,
cursed?
Jason, I said, does anybody else have a suspicion? Not, do you not have a suspicion? So,
Oh.
anybody have a suspicion of Jigsaw, or is it just me? Okay, just me. All right.
I just want to confirm
I'm a little
it can be
suspicious of everybody.
multiple cursed can be werewolves, correct? It was just at least one.
Yes.
Yes, it was
Yes.
at least one, but
Yeah.
it could be
Three people-
multiple.
The
Right.
three people
Okay.
who say they were cursed was Victor, Jigsaw, and Matthew.
Right.
So we have to assume that they're villagers, more than likely villagers, because
So one thing that is, well, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know if we have to assume they're villagers.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm
Gonna
saying.
make a
I'd say probably
nomination.
two of the
All
three.
three.
Wait, hang
We
on.
need to assume that they
Someone's
claimed
making
they
a
were
nomination.
J-Mac was, right?
J-Mac.
J-Mac.
I want to nominate Matthew simply because he's being a little bit quieter than normal, and I just want to hear what he's thinking.
All right, so J-Mac nominates Matthew. Is there a second for that?
He also
I'll second
shaved,
it.
which seems to be
All right,
overcompensating.
Matthew, what's your defense?
I feel like I'm actually being louder than more normal, but I feel like I'm trying to get good information from the village. I was a cursed villager, and that is all the information I have. I was suspicious of Josh, which was a mistake. Right now, I feel like I don't have any good suspicions on anyone except for some of the people who aren't talking as much. But I feel like we're getting most of the people out who are talking. But
All right.
if you have to kill me, that's fine. I'm
Thumbs
just
for
a villager.
Matthew. Ready. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, I'm sorry. I voted down, but I didn't mean to.
No,
I didn't mean to. I
All
trust
right.
you
Roy,
implicitly.
Kidding, Yahoo.
that's 2 votes down. 1 said they're not mean to from Yahoo, and then Roy.
Roy.
I don't know what
I
happened.
just
but
feel like
somehow-
Matthew's defense wasn't very good.
Somehow I
And we
got
can't wait
muted.
till the third person every time.
So I'm
Sure.
saying,
No,
I
we
think
shouldn't.
Matt,
That is
Matthew-
true. That
So-
that seems like a bad strategy to keep on going with, because as we have less villagers,
We're just gonna sneak.
it's
Somebody's gonna sneak
easier
in the
and
last.
easier for a werewolf
so-
to.
Yeah.
So here's my thoughts. Tell me if I'm right. I think Matthias has to be the person we nominate because he's
Agree.
the one that we've had suspicion for 2 rounds, and he's the
I'm
only
okay
one that
with
makes sense
that
to nominate.
because
I was-
he
I
also
was-
didn't seem
I'll
very happy
nominate
about us
myself.
nominating
No, I
Matthew
can't
either.
nominate.
So I don't know.
I need a nomination.
I nominate Matthias.
I
Okay.
nominates Matthias. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I'll second. Oh.
All right, Matthias,
Jason
what's
did.
your defense?
Okay, if you want to kill me, it's totally okay. I'm just a villager, so I hope village can win.
Mm.
All right, thumbs for Matthias.
We'll win.
Ready. 1, 2, 3. All right, that is unanimous, including Matthias. Matthias
He knew it
was
was gonna happen.
indeed a villager.
Ah,
Good night,
sorry,
everybody.
man.
Good night, all. My grid looks better now. All right. Okay. We'll start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to defend tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer, who would you like to know about? One moment, everyone. Just hang on. All righty. That's it. Good morning, everybody. And unfortunately, another death has hit the village. Jason, I'm sorry, but you are dead, and Jason was a villager.
So why was everybody gunning for Matthias? He seconded the vote on Charles.
Yep, we
I
keep
don't
forgetting
understand
that.
why everybody.
Jason,
why
turn
was
off your
everybody
video.
gunning for him?
There we go.
Yeah, I did not agree with the vote on Matthias, but
It made
he
no
was-
sense. Everybody
Yeah.
was going after him, and I'm like, he would never second a werewolf
Yeah.
to be killed. Never.
Yeah, I definitely didn't agree with the vote on Matthias. That was
Why
it
didn't
was
you
like
speak up beforehand?
because
Yeah,
it
really.
was a third vote, and it was and somebody
It's a third vote.
So
Before
Jay,
the second.
hold on, Jmac nominated him, and Nick seconded that, and it was like boom, boom, and it was like, okay, there's a third vote. We have to kill him, or the Sasquatch could turn. And so
I didn't nominate Matthias.
And I did not
nominated
second
Matt.
him. I don't know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
He's
it was
talking
Matt.
about
Mike.
the vote that for the other vote.
I think
Mike.
Jason seconded him.
J-Mac called out Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was Matt. Okay, it was. I'm sorry. It was
Yeah,
actually
I
Matt.
seconded
Okay,
the second vote. I didn't
I'm sorry.
jump.
I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't jumping.
Yeah, Yahoo and Jason. were the ones
Here's all
that,
my notes. Sorry,
nominated
sorry.
Matthias.
Here's all my notes. Sorry.
My notes have gotten bad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it again. If the Seer's still alive and they have 5 people alive, and hopefully you have a Bodyguard and Frankenstein.
Yeah, if the Seer's alive, like, come
some
on.
information.
Yeah,
Otherwise we're gonna-
I agree. The Seer by now should come out with whatever they have. because
You would
it's getting
absolutely
dicey.
think that the Seer would have to come out.
Or they've
Yeah,
got to
you
be
think so.
dead, right?
The scary
useful
part now is at this
information?
point. I guess the nervous part now is either the Seer could be dead, in which case the Frankenstein is hopefully getting some info, but probably not enough. But also, like Jason's probably one of the people that the Seer would check, so we might not have, whether it was just now or early on. You know what I mean? There's certain people that might be dead now that the Seer is checked, so that could also skew the numbers. It might not be 5. You know what I mean?
After I realized I thought
usually
Jason
check
was
the
good, I was surprised he was still alive. I'm like, how have the werewolves not killed him yet?
Well, he's a potential Bodyguard save, right? That's why.
I know.
they
I
might
feel like he
want him.
might have gotten saved by the Bodyguard. He might have gotten saved by the Bodyguard the first night. That would have
Yeah.
been really good for us,
That is possible. The only thing I'll say to that is if that had happened, you'd assume the werewolves would go back to the right. You'd assume the werewolves would
same
go
kill
back
the
to
second
the,
night,
Unless they're
the
Seer
same
hunting, though,
person on the
right?
second
They
night.
could be Seer hunting. And they
Yeah,
figure Jason
I
was
guess
a
that's
Seer.
true. I guess so.
Hey, let's see.
I
Can
meant
we
to-
hear something? Can we hear some thoughts from Malachi?
I don't really have many good suspicions. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. So if you had a gun to your head right now, Malachi, you had to pick somebody to kill. Who would you pick?
Who's holding the gun to his head?
Are you, Mike? Are
Why
you
is
saying
Mike-
that Malachi's the hunter?
No. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to get
him to have.
I'm just trying to get him to come out of his shell a little bit. That's all. Just tell us. Point. If you had to point to somebody right now, you're suspicious of, who would it be?
This could be dangerous.
I'll tell you what, Malachi, it can be, because if you call out the wrong person,
yeah, you don't have to.
All right.
You don't.
Yeah, you
I'm
don't
just-
have to do it.
You don't
So I
have to,
know.
I'm sorry.
At the risk of having Mike feel I'm suspicious again, I'm really curious about Kyle. He hasn't said a whole lot this time. Of course, that's gotten him in trouble in the past because he has. So
I was just talking about why we were gunning for Matthias.
yeah, he did. He was
No.
talking about that.
Yes.
And also, I would say this: when Jmac nominated Matt, that didn't make any sense to me either, because Matt defended Victor when everybody was going after Victor, and Victor's the one that first nominated Charles. And
Yep.
if Matt was a werewolf, he would be in favor of Victor being killed.
I do have to say,
Matt just because I wanted to kind of hear what he had to say.
I have the one time I played with Matt. I think he was a werewolf, and I think he was a lot quieter in that game than he is now. I mean, I don't think Matt's talking a ton, but I mean, I think he's talked more in this game.
Yeah, I feel like he's good.
Yeah, I played with Matt 3 times now, and Matt's been pretty quiet on most of the games. So.
Okay.
So
I find if Matt says something, it usually means something.
Yeah. I will say this. I Kyle, you mentioned Jmac nominating him, and then again, a Nick right behind him nominating him like second it right away. So I think if Jmac's bad, Nick's bad. So those two are connected, I think, because it was like instantaneous. He jumped right on it.
Not necessarily, because the werewolf might not second. Like I find like the werewolves will second votes that like they know are on, like they'll second nominations a lot, regardless of who's nominating, if they think it's gonna get a kill on somebody who's good.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't have been one of those though, because it was just like, hey, let's get information.
That's what I really didn't think that was kind of a nomination for a kill.
No, I voted up. I mean, everyone voted up, but it was also more to get a bit more talk and info.
Sonia, what do you think? What are you thinking?
I think we haven't really heard from Steve. I've seen other like werewolf videos, and he seems to talk a little bit more than he has been now.
Sometimes I talk when I have information. I mean, I think that the only information that that I'm keeping notes on is that I think William and Victor have sounded safe, but I'm not sure about anybody else. I still think from the it was I guess the second night when there wasn't a kill, that either the Sasquatch or Tanner turned. Possibly the bodyguard protected them, but that would have been a long shot in itself. So,
do you think that if the bodyguard is still alive, that there's any rhyme or reason? Let's just say that the bodyguard did protect the person and, they weren't killed. Would there be any rhyme or reason we think that the bodyguard should kind of give up that information? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing out there.
Well, how would they know?
Well, the bodyguard.
If somebody wasn't killed that night.
Let's just say, for instance, the bodyguard
But they don't know when they protected or.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't know
Not for sure. I guess
that's true.
Because the scary part with that, Victor, is that they could have protected someone. Someone didn't. Well, they did protect someone, obviously, right? Someone didn't die, but they don't know if that person was chosen. So they could have protected anyone.
Because maybe the Tanner was targeted and then flipped. So they don't know. That makes sense.
All right, folks, I need a nomination.
All right. Well, I'm suspect of Jmac, and he's very quiet, so I'm going to nominate him. It's only the first, so.
All right. Is there a second to that?
Second it.
All right, Chris seconds it. Jmac, what's your defense?
That's the werewolf killer.
It's the werewolf killer, guys.
Yeah. He's seconded.
What have I done?
Yeah, no worries. No, just trying to watch people, mainly get information. Right now, I don't have any major suspicions. I feel pretty good about Victor. Feel pretty good about Nick. Yeah, I don't have any definite issues with anybody, so I'm still trying to watch. I have some good vibes about a few people, but nothing where I feel like somebody is acting out of character.
All right. Thumbs for Jmac. Ready. 1, 2, 3. All right. Yahoo and Chris and Jigsaw vote down. That's it. I need another nomination.
Chris, you're the werewolf killer. Give us your thoughts on that one.
All right. I trust a Yahoo a little bit, and I've played with him before, and I think he's onto something there with Jmac. I could be wrong.
I don't know if I am.
I'm not a huge professional or anything like that. I just talk a lot of gibberish sometimes. Earlier, when I thought it was Matthias, I actually was thinking that Victor might be with Matthias, but then Matthias was good.
In the interest of time,
Oh,
I'm going to
oops.
need a second nomination.
Oh.
All right, the other person that voted
I think you're
down
okay,
on that
Victor.
was Jigsaw. Jigsaw, why'd you
Yeah.
vote down on that?
I've had a little bit of suspicion of JMac for a little while. I mean, it probably since about the third or fourth night, he just seemed a little quiet and like he was maybe hiding some information. He might have a role, I don't know, but that's just the only thing I have to go on for JMac.
I want to nominate Mike.
All right, Roy nominates Mike. Is there a second for that?
Mike,
I'll second it.
Sure.
All right, Mike, you've been seconded. What's your defense?
So I'm a villager. So my suspicions are Jigsaw because of his first few nights. And then when I called him out earlier, two people adjusted in their chairs and got really nervous looking when I called him out. And that was Sonia. She started playing with her hair. And the second person, I can't remember who it was, or they're dead, one of the two. But it was Jigsaw. I think Jigsaw is bad. And I think Sonia's either got really nervous and I called him out for whatever reason. But those are the two I would call out. But I'm just a villager. So
Mike, I just fidget with my hair a lot.
Okay, I could be me. But if
Mike.
after I'm dead, make sure you kill Jigsaw.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, Yahoo, JMac, Matthew, Chip, Jordan. Not enough. You're still alive.
What?
I need another nomination.
I think it's Mike, Kyle, and Chris.
I never make it to a.
I'm
vote.
so. I wanted to.
Troy.
I voted up to keep Mike because I wanted to feel like that we can have a couple-minute conversation, but
Yeah.
something about the way he just something about that did make me suspicious.
I think it's Mike, Kyle, and Chris. They seem like they're together. And
despite Mike not trusting me, I do trust Mike. I think he's good.
Oh, that don't say that, Jigsaw. Please stop doing it.
See why you have any
Because
reason.
I don't
like,
trust you.
I don't know.
I don't trust you at
seems
all.
very suspicious to me. That's why I nominated him in the first place.
Roy, man, come
Roy.
on, man. I love you. I love your Euro game, man. Stop it. Come on, stop, man.
I would say it has nothing to do with anything outside the game. It's the fact that you're shady inside the game.
All right, I need a third nomination.
I have a suspicion of Sonia. When Mike kind of called her out there, just her facial reaction, it didn't sit well. So I'm going to nominate her.
All right, William's nominating Sonia. Is there a second for that?
I'm going to second it. I'll second it.
All right. Sonia, what's your defense?
My defense is that he just was saying that, I was playing with my hair. I do that a lot. I fidget with my hair a lot. So I didn't want people thinking that, that's why that he thought that I was a werewolf because I was just fidgeting with my hair. I thought that was kind of a silly excuse to do that. I am not a werewolf. I am a villager. But, at this point, I don't even know if we still have a Sasquatch at this point that we need to be killing off villagers. But
all right, thumbs for Sonia.
Yeah.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. All righty. So Sonia votes up. No one else did. Sonia, you're dead. No one move here. Sonia was a werewolf, but she's also the hunter werewolf. You can take one person with you. Who?
I'm taking William.
William, I'm sorry, but you are also dead. That's 2 people out. Good night, everybody. And William was a villager.
I'm a villager.
Well, that was exciting. You didn't know werewolves carried shotguns, did you? Well, now you do. All right. We'll start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer, who would you like to know about? All right. Good morning, everybody. Well, it's a good morning for many of you, but it is not a good morning for Kyle. Kyle, you are dead. I'm sorry. And Kyle was a villager.
Oh, I knew you were good, Kyle.
I'm going to be right back here in like 30 seconds.
Right.
I don't know anything about this game. I'm sorry, Mike. I don't know
Mike
what I
was
did.
gunning for Sonya, so that is good for him.
I agree.
Wrong.
And to be fair, it wasn't the playing
Yeah.
with the hair; it was
Yeah.
the nervous look. It was the, you look
Well,
nervous to me.
the defense of the nervous hair is also suspicious because if you're called out on a genuine tick, it's just who I am. Like that is a thing. I've heard it many times.
Yeah.
Who did you say she was reacting to? Jigsaw or something?
Yeah.
So-
When as soon as I called out Jigsaw, she started looking really nervous. So
Yeah, that's what she did.
So I was a bit suspicious of Sonya and Kyle, so right one, wrong the other.
Yeah. Wait, I want to wait till Matthew gets back. I want to make sure he's in. There he is.
Oh.
Hey, Matthew. Matthew, we all nominated you.
Okay, cool.
Just
No,
kidding.
they have
not. Just kidding.
I figured I'd be dead by now and I could go to the bathroom, but I'm still alive, so I was like, okay.
I mean,
Crystal, what you thinking?
What am I thinking? Well, I originally was thinking Mike D, but not anymore. Sorry, Mike. I was also thinking Josh, and he wasn't. So, and I don't want to say the other person I'm thinking because they're still here.
So I guess
but I have a suspicion about one person that has been mentioned before.
I guess our Seer's dead at this point, right?
I mean,
it feels like it.
The Seer.
Once the Seer
I
comes
feel
out,
like they should have came out by now.
You would have think.
Maybe it was Scott. That would stink.
Yeah.
There's no telling when the Frankenstein became the new Seer, so we don't know.
Or if the Frankenstein was even dead before that. But
I suspected that Kyle. I suspected that Kyle might have been the Seer, and it kind of sucks that he's dead now because I was thinking he might have given us some information, or he could have been the Frankenstein. Yeah,
but you voted down on Kyle. You voted to kill him.
Yeah, that is not consistent.
I'd like to nominate Jigsaw.
Well,
yeah.
All right, Mike has nominated Jigsaw. Is there a second for that?
I mean, Mike was right about the thing
Matthew?
and it was when it was.
All right, Jigsaw, what's your defense?
My defense is I'm a stupid villager, and yeah, I guess I forgot that I voted down on Kyle, but I did think he had some good information for us, and hopefully that doesn't punish the village. I was cursed when the game first started, so that's all I've got.
That's not adding up for me.
Thumbs for Jigsaw. Ready. 1.
Why did you eat all these?
Hang on, I'm sorry. Okay, let me try it again. Ready. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we have Roy, Mike, Blake, Chris, J.
Are you in a video
Matthew,
game?
Jordan, Nick. Let me count. Keep them. All right, that's it. 8-7. Jigsaw, you're dead. And Jigsaw was indeed a werewolf.
Werewolf.
Good night, everybody. Hey, maybe that's all the werewolves. But if so, why did Vasel not end the game? And he also needs to come up with a better joke. All righty, we'll start with the Bodyguard. Who would you like to defend? Thank you. We'll continue on to the remaining werewolf or werewolves. Who would you like to take out? Thank you. And Seer, who would you like to know about? All right, good morning, everybody. Well, you made it farther than normal, Mike, but your time with us has ended. Mike is dead, and Mike was a villager. All righty. And
Chris?
then
I want to say before anybody says anything, because I know everybody, you keep track of those votes. I was voting yes on that one specifically because I know that we could re-nominate him, and I wanted to hear some conversation. But gladly, we didn't have to have more conversation.
Same here, actually, and also because while I did think Jigsaw is suspicious, according to my notes, we've never nominated Kyle. So that
I voted up for the same reason. I don't see a Kyle nomination ever happening.
Right. So that comment about like, oh, why'd you vote down Kyle was completely wrong.
And it was Mike that made that comment because he's now dead and he was a villager.
I think it was him, and it was an honest mistake. But
yeah, that's fine. That's why I voted against it, because I was like, oh, this is interesting.
Same here. I was like, that just did not happen.
But Chris is going to have to give up his title of werewolf killer to Mike, I think.
The reason I voted down, even on the first night, I guess we could have got more info and then voted him on the third, but is that Mike was completely right about Sonya, and then he was saying that her reaction, her reaction was when Jigsaw had been kind of brought up into the conversation as a possible werewolf. So he seemed like completely on the right path with Sonya. So I went with that. I wasn't really, and then honestly, on his defense, when the nomination, that was a weak defense when it was brought up that he voted down for Kyle. Like, even if it didn't happen, the way he defended that was not very well said to me.
I'm definitely with you there. I like I said, I did the other. I figured we'd have a second nomination of him again. Just wanted to hear what the conversation was going to be. But yeah,
I want to know why Blake's not a werewolf. Blake, tell us why you're not a werewolf, or why you voted to not kill the werewolf.
Which one? I just voted to kill him.
Your thumb was up, wasn't it?
Yahoo!
No, wasn't.
What's the screenshot?
Yahoo, what's the
I don't know. Let me look.
Are you serious? You got a screenshot of it?
Yes.
It was down. It was down.
He voted to kill.
It was me.
Okay,
I
voted
to kill. Yeah, no. So
thanks for the screenshots.
Okay, hold on.
You know, when we go back to real life, you guys are not going to be able to use screenshots, and it's going to be very confusing for many people.
I just want to say, Roy is the master of like throwing someone in. He's like, "Hey, Blake, what's going on?" And then he like walks away. He's like, "I'm just throwing it out there."
Here, you want to know the low-key secret? Is I'm trying to keep the game going along because I have to edit it later, and I want it to go faster.
Okay.
Roy's
That's
all
like
about
true
number one.
metagaming.
That's interesting. Roy does have more information because he does have to watch every video.
Oh yeah, I've been like, I just want people to talk. Honestly,
he's like watching people's pupils, like zooming in.
You may be overestimating the amount of work we put into one of these.
I'm just going to go through my list of notes and say who I think is good. Okay, and this is
I'm about to say maybe overestimating the amount that
just off of
someone
randomness.
puts into these.
I think Roy's good. I think Victor's good. I think Chris T is good. I think Jmac's good. I think Chip's good. And the rest, everybody else, I'm not sure of. That's just.
I forgot Jordan.
I'm not sure of you yet, Jordan.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that list again?
I say Roy. Yep. Victor. I trusted Mike, but he's done. Chris T. And I trust Jmac and Chip.
You said Chip.
Yeah.
So not Steve.
What
not
did?
No. I'm not saying anybody else has done anything suspicious. I feel like those people have done stuff to help.
What about Malachi?
I mean, Malachi, I have zero suspicion on him, but I don't have anything in favor either.
So he's like a kid just starting off with like normal credit, so he can't like get a credit card because he hasn't built credit yet.
Exactly.
He gets a small credit card.
And you don't have a suspicion list. You just have like, I think these people are good.
Those are the people I feel good about.
All right, Jordan.
I think Nick's definitely good.
Jordan, give us some like 2 cents.
Yeah, I could pick Nick. I could add Nick to the list too, actually.
The folks I've been most suspicious of was Jigsaw, who's gone. I was also a little suspicious of who's the last one? Was it Kyle? Kyle's gone, right?
Kyle's
Looking at
gone.
my screen.
Yep.
I was a little suspicious of Kyle too, but that was incorrect. I was asking earlier, and this might just be nothing, but would the priest, if the priest was still around, have any useful information?
I don't.
I don't think so.
They could at least identify themselves.
But they could clear themselves as a non not a great. They're not like a bodyguard or a seer or anything. So that would actually be someone that we would know is on
because
the good
it's
side.
because their
than just
role is
basic
useless at this
That's
point.
true.
The hunter could come out too. I mean,
Is the priest Tom? Is the priest one of the cursed?
No.
No.
He's
They were not.
okay. So
They
yeah,
cannot
I mean,
be cursed.
so that's not bad. I mean, I guess the priest, at least you know that you're the villager.
I have a bad feeling Mike might have been the Frankenseer, and that's why I was kind of going with his suspicions.
Oh, that is a good point.
Why do you think that?
Well, I just think
Because he had really good
he
information.
had really good information, and he can't. I think maybe he saw those two and then just tried to sneak them in as votes, and then got killed.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying.
That's why I was like, okay, we got to go with Mike, but I think that's probably why he died too.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Which is unfortunate. You should always give all your information. You can't have these sneaky.
That's yeah.
Was
yeah, if you're gonna be.
And I feel like Sonya number 1. I don't know. I just feel like she was something early on.
She was cursed villager. That's my guess. I think she was.
I think she may have been the last cursed.
Day 2, I think it was day 2, we killed Josh. Who nominated and seconded that?
Matthias nominated and Victor seconded.
Oh, okay.
All right, folks, I'm going to need a nomination.
I do. Sorry. I have a question. It's not a nomination. Why did you clear Jmac? Because I feel like he has said almost nothing.
I don't know. I had him cleared for some reason, and I can't remember why. It may have been something early in the game, and I didn't go back to it. But I just putting little like checks beside people I trust, and I put one beside him.
I'm still waiting for a nomination.
Nick, who do you think it is?
Well, I think it's probably more than one still. I think we still have more than one in the game.
Yeah, but who do we nominate?
I'm going to nominate Steve.
Well,
who nominates Steve?
I'll second that.
Oh, Malachi, he got jumped on it. He seconded that one.
Which number are we in now?
This is one.
First one. Who nominated Steve?
Yeah, this is not one.
Sorry?
Matthew nominated.
Malachi second.
All right, Steve, what's your defense?
I'm a villager, and I've told you the information that I have, who I think is clear, and I'm a villager.
All right, voting for Steve. Ready. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, wow.
All right, so we have Yahoo, Chris, Jmac, Matthew, Jordan, and Malachi. That is not enough.
I mean, usually on the first kind of vote, I'm usually, maybe it's a bad thing to say, giving up strategy, but I'm usually gonna, for the most part, say keep them alive, just because I want to hear conversation about it. So anybody who voted him down, I'd love to hear some more, because we can revote him. Nominate him.
His nomination was, I've given you information, and I don't feel like he's given us any.
Yeah, I didn't think he'd given us any information.
He said he thinks Will is safe. That was why I wrote that down.
Okay.
Which I thought William was safe. I thought
information though.
Yeah, and Victor was
you
safe.
Seconded and you voted down. And this is your strongest move so far in the game. Can you give us some insight?
I just have a bit of a hunch against Steve and maybe something with Crystal. I don't know.
Interesting.
Do I have a second nomination?
I don't think you have anything to base that on. So
obviously, that's what you would say. I don't know. Malachi is like upvoting a lot of people.
That's the thing. I voted down because Crystal. I trust Malachi.
Oh, Jmac.
Jmac nominate Crystal. Is there a second for that?
I'm gonna second it.
All right, Crystal, what's your defense?
So I'm a villager. I actually, my only suspicion that I have, ironically, it's one of the people that voted for me, but I don't know what to say. I have a couple of suspicions. One is for JMac. That came from conversations with Mike D. And if JMac is a werewolf, then I have suspicions on Nick, but Nick is shown to be telling the truth thus far. That's all the information I have. I'm a villager.
All right, voting for Crystal, thumbs. This is vote number 2. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so I have Blake, JMac, Matthew, and Jordan are the only 4 to vote down. Crystal, you're safe. Do I have a third nomination?
Nominate JMac.
Who nominated JMac? Chip did. Is there a second for that?
Before anybody seconds, I will let you know that.
Well,
You
Crystal,
do get a defense.
Crystal did
Yeah, I know.
second it.
Okay.
All right, JMac, what's your defense?
My defense is I am the bodyguard, and so the reason why I voted down for Steve and Crystal is because based off of the list of people who are being trusted right now, they weren't on the list, and they have seemed to be a little bit playing differently than normal. I know Crystal's usually pretty quiet, but normally as we get to the later game, she speaks up a little bit more, and she hasn't yet. So that was my concern. And then Steve is a little bit hard to read, but I was also feeling like he hadn't given very much information when he felt like he had. So that's my defense right now, is I feel like there are 2 possible people who could be werewolves.
Who did you protect the first night?
No.
Who I protected myself the first night, then I protected Victor, Nick, Vicar, and
Definitely telling the truth.
a Yahoo.
Believe now it's a tough situation.
Yeah,
Was that
because-
seconded, or was it taken back?
It was seconded, and if we have any thought of whether or not the Sasquatch is still around, right? Like, as in,
Yeah.
what if we actually keep JMac alive?
I'm good with keeping him alive.
You know what I mean? But we're taking that chance. If the Sasquatch is still alive, they're going to flip.
Of getting another werewolf. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but if he is the bodyguard, he can protect somebody in theory.
He's going to protect himself tonight.
Which is is good. We want to keep him alive then, right? Is that what you're saying, Roy?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
Nobody else claimed they were the bodyguard.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, his
So we either
info
keep him
is pretty-
alive or risk another werewolf.
All right, thumbs.
Yeah. Ouch.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
Yeah, I don't
Ready?
either.
Yeah.
1,
No
2,
good choices here.
3. All righty, so you're safe. You can look at the votes, everyone. So if there is a Sasquatch still alive, they are now a werewolf. All right? Good night, everybody. All right. We're going to start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer. Who would you like to know about? All right, good morning. Well, let's move things along to make Roy's job easier to edit. And the first is that he can get some sleep. So, Roy, you're dead. And he was indeed a villager.
Oh, no.
He's celebrating like he's the Tanner.
All righty.
Hey, Yahoo, why did you say JMac was 100% telling the truth?
His defense, he was too clear on like every detail. Like,
he didn't. He did.
I voted this person. I voted this person. I voted this person. Nobody defended him. It made sense that he was being quiet because he had an important role, and like he's just keeping his whole story checked out in my book.
Like,
and nobody denied it either.
Here's what I'll say: if the bodyguard was dead, that would be like a master play to already have 3 or 4 names to rattle off in order, who you checked when, like. Like,
the
that's
problem with
just
that is you
amazing
have to have
play.
the bodyguard and the Frankensteer would have to be dead for him to pull it off too.
Okay.
Because if for him to pull it off, you would have to have 2 people, both of them be dead.
You're right. You're right because even if the bodyguard was dead, then the Frankenstein would have claimed. Yeah. So it's just too quick. It was too quick of clear, decisive. That makes total sense.
All right.
Should we also say that?
So, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, should we say before anything else, and if you are the bodyguard, I feel like part of me wants you to be like, who did you protect? But at the same time, don't say who you protected, because then you either protected yourself or did you use it, because then you can use it again tonight. And don't say either.
Yeah,
right. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Up too much.
Right. So just don't call out. I'm leaning towards that. Don't call out who you protected. If you are the bodyguard.
And if we do have a Frankenstein or a Seer still alive, and we do have a bodyguard, I feel like
that would be a lot of information.
Yeah.
If nobody comes out, we have to assume they're dead.
I think so too, because at this point, like, even if it's just a Frankenstein left, they must know some stuff.
Yeah, there's 12? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, 12 is left. Yeah.
I mean, I'd advocate for the hunter and priest to come out too, just so we have more people that we trust. But
more people to.
I mean, the priest could be dead, but hunter's definitely not dead.
Right.
No, because only the werewolf. There was a werewolf hunter, right?
Yeah. The werewolf hunter was killed.
Yeah, werewolf hunter. Yeah.
But the regular hunter is still around. Has to be.
I think there's probably about 3 werewolves left too. That's my guess.
I was just gonna say I've played. My only strange suspicion is I've played I think 2 games with Nick P, and he's always one of the first few people killed. So I'm a little suspicious that he's made it this far.
You live too long.
That's some strong accusation. You live too long. You got to be bad.
I would say Nick is possibly the most vocal person who's still around. A lot of the most vocal people are voted out.
Is Nick usually vocal though?
Yeah. In the games I've played, he is.
Have you been villager or werewolf though?
I think in these games I've been werewolf once, and the other times villager. I believe. I think I've only been werewolf once. And I was killed off the first night. But it was also when I was a werewolf, I was killed by the village, and that was also because there was something in the game that had the Seer or something had checked me.
And it was before you shaved off the beard.
However, guys, the thing is, I was suspicious of Nick as well, but he was the one that seconded the third nomination of the day when Sonia was killed. And she was involved.
Mike. What Mike said made complete sense.
He could play a masterful game, thinking that Sonia was already Sonia and Jigsaw were already exposed and whatever.
Every wolf for themselves.
I wish.
Are we forgetting? Wasn't there a lot of suspicion on Steve?
Yes.
There was a little bit. Yeah,
there was.
Yeah, so I don't want to forget about that then.
Steve is tricky.
I agree.
You can't read him very well.
I'm a villager.
Steve, all right, Steve. Here's an honest to God question for you, Steve.
Yeah.
Do you play poker?
I don't think I've ever played poker.
Is your favorite game Shadows over Camelot?
No, my new favorite game is Search for Planet X,
which is about the total opposite of this game.
Yeah, exactly.
Great game though.
So anybody that does have some glaring suspicion about Steve, what's your 2 cents? Is there anything?
I nominated him, but it was just based on the fact that he's on my list of people I don't trust. People who I have no trust of.
So you don't have per se negative trust. You just have zero trust.
Exactly.
Your baseline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will say for Steve is he plays exactly the same either way, so it's so hard to know.
Yeah, it is.
He's on my list of a little suspicion.
Do you have any suspicions, Malachi? What do you think?
I'll say Nick was also on my list of suspicion going into this round, and mostly he has been vocal, but I feel I literally have like half a sheet of paper that I'm writing some things down, so I am not on anybody else's level here. But I feel like whenever he is vocalizing something, he's usually just like stating what is happening right now and not necessarily adding to the good.
Who are you talking about, Jordan?
No, they're talking about me. Jordan, I understand what you're saying, but I will say I was pretty vocal in reiterating why I thought that Jigsaw and Sonya were linked as werewolves, because people seem to get off of that and get onto some weird thing about a vote for Kyle that Jigsaw did something for. But I agreed big time with what Mike was saying about how Sonya kind of like got up in her chair and nervous when Jigsaw's name got brought up.
Okay,
I do feel like I'm bringing more to the table than that, but that's just.
All right, I need a nomination.
Just out of curiosity, Matthew, why was Chip on your safe list? Just because he was the one that nominated
Early in the
J-Mac
game,
last
Chip
time.
gave a lot of good information. I feel like he hasn't been loud, but he's chimed in with good information every time he talks. It seems like he's adding something helpful, but that might just be him being a werewolf. But I feel like he's helping us, so I would lean towards trusting Chip because he's helping us.
But I'm still waiting for a nomination, just in case anyone was confused.
Okay, I'll go ahead and nominate the person I'm most suspicious of is Steve.
All right, Steve's been nominated. Is there a second?
I'll second, because I think there was a lot of suspicion last
All right,
round about
Steve,
that.
what's your defense?
My defense is it's getting late in the game. I don't have a lot of information, unfortunately. I am the Frankenstein, so the only role that I have is the Seer. And I could tell you, so I think that if the way it worked out correct, I think that made Jason the original Seer who got killed. And then I looked at Jigsaw, but he was killed before. It didn't really make any difference. Then I looked at Chris. Chris is good. And then I looked at Yahoo, and it really hurts to have a Steve out of the game, but there's a werewolf. So, and those are the only three I've had a chance to look at. And since Jmac, if you're truly the bodyguard, you're going to protect me tonight, and I'll get you a view of somebody tomorrow.
Did you just call out Yahoo?
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Is that who you?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thumbs for Steve. This is for Steve.
Steve, can I ask you when did you check the Yahoo?
Let's see. I think it was last night.
Okay.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, so Yahoo and Jordan and Malachi voted down. That's not enough. Steve's still alive.
Who just voted him? Voted down.
Jordan,
Malachi and Malachi. I just want to know why you voted down on Steve.
Well, I voted down because I know I'm not.
Well, because you're a werewolf. That's right.
Well, right. I mean, that's obvious.
I mean, the other two. Yeah. I'm wondering Jordan and Malachi's reasoning. That's what I'm wondering.
Like, are one of you the Seer? Are you?
Oh, so I think he wasn't telling the truth. I thought he stuttered too much and came up with last night as his answer. It's just
that
you don't go last night. No, that'd be the one that you know the most of. So that's
I kind of agree with that. I thought that it took him a little bit too long to remember that he looked into Yahoo just last night. That seems like it would be
because I have my lists going in two different directions so that I can write them out so that I can show them.
Does anyone want to claim Seer?
Not only you could be wrong, but you are wrong.
That's true.
Does anyone want to counterclaim right now? Is he like? Is anyone the
Right.
Seer or Frankenstein right now alive? And then we could prove.
No,
this is
the other thing I was, and it makes no difference. I became the priest at some point, but that was a meaningless.
What round?
Role. It was maybe two rounds ago. It was after I became the Seer.
Did anybody ever come out as a priest?
No.
No, I don't think so.
No.
That would have meant that Kyle was the priest if you're saying 2 rounds ago.
Yeah.
And I
You
thought
know,
we
I-
discussed it
do you
before.
think-
Well, that could be.
Do you think
I
Tom
don't,
would still pass along the priest role?
Yeah, he did. He did. I'm telling you, he did.
I think he did say it in the beginning too.
Yeah.
Technically,
He did.
Happen, but...
I don't know. I
The
should.
priest
I should
would
be
get
saying
passed
too much.
on if that happens. Yes.
Yeah, the
I don't think
I'm telling you, he
reason for
did.
that is because the mummy never really ended up being part of the game, really. But
Yeah.
if it was, then the priest has that chance every day, right? So yeah.
All right. Do I have another nomination?
I nominate a Yahoo. He's a werewolf.
All right. Steve has nominated Yahoo. Is
Tom?
there a second for that?
Second, Yahoo.
Chip, Crystal.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to ask, would you pass on the priest even if the mummy was dead?
Yes, because it's still information.
Okay.
And the only thing I'm going to say is that Jmac, if you are the bodyguard, please protect me tonight. I have someone who I think is very suspicious.
No, we're voting on Yahoo, right?
Yep.
All right. We are voting on
Yahoo.
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 Yes.
Why'd you
Okay,
do
thumbs
Doesn't
for,
he get to
Yahoo?
defend?
Yeah, defense.
Yeah, defend yourself. Yeah.
Oh yes. Sorry. Crystal threw me off.
So, well, I'm not a werewolf, and I don't know. You rambled on about when and where. I don't know.
All right, thumbs.
Hurts.
Ready. 1, 2, 3.
But you're dead.
All right, so Blake, Steve, Yahoo, Chris, pretty much everyone except for Malachi and Victor voted down.
I thought we
Yahoo,
get
you
to a
are
third vote
dead.
here.
And indeed, he was a werewolf.
Oh.
Good night,
Nice.
everybody. All righty. We're going to start right off with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer. Who would you like to know about? All right. Good morning, everybody. You heard a lot of growling, a lot of yelling last night, and in the morning, sadly, Jmac has been found murdered. He was indeed a villager.
Yep.
What you got for us, Steve?
Yeah. Did you get?
Well,
did you get
you know, I voted to people who voted down on me. I checked Jordan last night, and Jordan's a villager.
Jordan's villager.
I can confirm that's true, and I would like to publicly apologize to Steve. I feel like he might be taking notes similar to me, and for that, I do apologize. I believe we're in this together.
Well, the obvious suspicions person right now remains Malachi, who could have been he could be the Dream Wolf. Like in the beginning, his incorrect voting didn't seem suspicious to me. Seemed really okay. Didn't know where the sum goes or that we have to vote on the third vote. But the last few rounds, I don't think his votes make any sense from a villager perspective.
No.
Not only that,
he has
but
been
there
kind
was
of coming out a little bit.
there was a quick second or something, or there was something very different than the way he was playing earlier on. That
I agree.
I would also like to still call for the hunter to come out. I think the hunter coming out would help us.
I agree with that. Yep.
I also think I just want
I'm
to
not
say,
the hunter. By the way, I'm not the hunter.
Well, the hunter would have
So-
done something by now if they died. So the hunter's still alive. I just
You
don't-
would not
know the
inherit the
hunter's around.
hunter, so.
Yeah, he would. He would.
Yes, if there is
But
a
you would know when the hunter
Frankenstein,
died
they become a hunter.
because they killed somebody.
Right.
No, but like the hunter would get their kill. So
Right.
Right.
Hunter's alive.
I'm Mike quiet.
To-
It's quiet.
I can hear you.
Okay. I'd just like to say I've had some suspicions on Malachi and I hate to say it, but Victor too for the last couple rounds. I've noticed that they both tried to save the last couple werewolves that we killed. I know you've been trying to make it to a third vote.
Yeah,
At
I
least
wanted
that's
to
what you're
hear
playing.
that's. I figured that was going to end up coming out because I voted kind of opposite that, and at this purely because I thought it was a little just at the moment. There's like a suspect of like, oh, is Steve telling the truth? And he quickly nominated Yahoo. So it was purely from the perspective of, let's hear some more conversation and get that third vote.
I want to toss this out there also. So assuming that Jmac was Bodyguard, assuming that Steve is Seer, Steve is dead tonight.
Yeah. I mean,
So Steve, if there's any other information you have, positive or negative, I mean, I guess if there was negative information, you tell us. But if there was positive information that now's the time because you will not live to see tomorrow.
That may be true, but other than on my list of people I've been able to check who are still alive, and on my list, I did have two werewolves. Jigsaw got killed before I could get that out, and a Yahoo. So the only other two people who I've checked, Jordan, are you and Chris. So, it's just because when I got the Seer role in the game, so.
Unless I guess you do get the Bodyguard. So if you weren't protected last night, you might be able to protect yourself tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I was going to ask Tom. Does if the Bodyguard protected, hypothetically speaking, if the Bodyguard protected the Frankenstein and the Frankenstein becomes Bodyguard, can the Frankenstein protect himself?
Oh, well, I just wrote this out, so I will say I have to rule that the same person can't be defended twice in a row.
Oh, interesting. Good to know.
I've seen because there was one game where I watched. I think somebody tried to do that, and Tom didn't have them either. So.
I don't remember if it's ever happened in the past.
I feel like I saw that, but maybe
not to.
I think I actually, Matthew. I think I did that as a Frankenstein.
Yeah. I remember.
I feel like I could have ruled either way on that because it works against the Seers at the same time.
And by the way, who else voted against me? Other than I know Jordan did, Malachi did,
Malachi,
and Victor.
And Victor, I thought was.
No,
checked him because I thought
against you. You mean sorry?
Yeah.
No, against you.
Well, the only other person.
No, I kept you. I voted to keep you alive.
The only other person was Malachi. Then that I specifically recall.
It was Malachi, Jordan, and Yahoo.
Not to pilot on Malachi,
Jordan.
but when two people earlier just accused him, he said nothing in defense. And I know it's kind of an intimidating group, but I kind of am thinking he is a werewolf.
So I did at one point suspect Steve, but I actually now do trust him after. I was really hoping that he would actually look into me last night because I knew that you guys would now suspect me because I voted against Steve incorrectly, and I was really unsure about a Yahoo. I was really on the line there, and I again voted wrong. So I knew you guys were going to suspect me. So I really wish that Steve had looked into me. But I am a villager, and
just a plain villager.
Yeah, just a plain villager.
Well, it is midnight, so we have to nominate someone.
And that's also another thing. I'm getting very tired.
I nominate.
I'll nominate Malachi because he's highest on my
Chip
list.
just did.
Chip, you nominate Malachi. Jordan, I'm assuming you'll second
second
that
it.
then.
Yeah.
All right, Malachi, what's your defense?
I guess that kind of was my defense. I'm just a villager. Yeah, I had a couple of hunches. Some of them are right, some of them are wrong. I am not like taking any notes, and I'm not nearly as good of a player as most of you guys here. And this is just my first game of Werewolf. So, yeah, if you kill me, I get to go to bed early.
All right, thumbs for Malachi.
Well, you at least have to keep watching if you
Ready?
I mean, come on.
1, 2, 3. All right, so everyone except Crystal and Malachi voted down. Malachi, you are dead, and Malachi was indeed a villager.
Dang it.
Good night, everybody.
Wow.
Dang it.
Good night.
All right, we're going to start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect? Okay, thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer. Who would you like to know about? Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. Sadly, Steve has left the ranks of the living. Steve was indeed a villager, and we are now Steveless in our village. Bringing us down to 8 people. There are not 4 werewolves, because if there were, they would win right now.
I think there's 2 left.
So,
just throwing that out there.
So we know Chris is good, and we know Jordan is good. If the hunter is here, we can really narrow it down. You know what I mean? If the hunter wants to come out, then we can really narrow it down.
As long as there's not one of those 2.
I mean, the hunter is still here.
I am not the hunter. I'll say that.
Me neither.
Chip, you're muted.
Or am I? No.
I said okay.
I don't feel like I'm trying to think of a play that I would lie about that, but
I think we need the hunter to come out at this point.
Yeah.
Like we really need just to get a third person.
And here's the thing: a hunter coming out right now, I guess, sort of puts a target on their back by the werewolf. But it would ultimately keep them safe because the werewolf would then put themselves at risk for the hunter bringing them down.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Well, because the numbers are dwindling, right? And so we believe our supposed Seer there. So then, it's down to only so many of us, right? Like, and Chris and Jordan just got cleared.
Yeah.
So
I don't, still no hunter, like
hunter at all. I'm not the hunter. If I was, I'd come out with it. That's for sure. I'm not the hunter, but I do think they should, because I think the more I'm pretty sure Chris and Jordan are safe. So we get the hunter. That's a third one, like 100%.
Right.
Yep. That's 3.
Okay, I'm the hunter. I was trying to catch somebody in a lie, but nobody else was gonna bluff about that. I'm the hunter.
That's fair.
Okay.
That was a good call.
Nice.
Is anybody else
want to claim that? Because
argue? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That makes sense. Okay, so Blake, Chris, and Jordan are for sure.
I'd like to nominate Chip then.
All right, Chris is nominate Chip. We don't need a second because of how few people we have. Chip, what's your defense?
The first one.
So what I just said before was so Crystal is the hunter and Blake is the werewolf. These were the 2 people I was sort of like suspicious of. Obviously, Blake coming out uncontested as a hunter leaves me with Crystal as my main suspicion. Victor would play an amazing game if he got turned at some point or something, because I think he was good definitely in the beginning. I do believe Nick, like I said, just because of like the timing of killing, seconding a werewolf on the third vote when it was clear we were going to go for that kill. And I am not 100% sure about Matthew. I'm looking at my notes now. Matthew, just to say it out there, he asked for the Seer to come out on like day 4. Put it out there, like didn't ask it or like demanded it, but put it out there. You can take that however you want. I didn't think it was necessarily a bad idea. I think it was time for the Seer to start thinking about revealing information. It was probably a little too early, but it was. I didn't mind it, so it wasn't necessarily like a suspicion thing.
right.
I'm a villager, no role. If you have to kill me for lack of other options.
Thumbs
It's
for
fine, but we'd rather try for a wolf.
Chip. All right, there are 8 people here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, Victor and Crystal voted down. That's it. Chip is still alive.
And I kind of wish the Seer had come out because we would have gotten some information.
So normally I am wanting to like get more information, but I've just had the slightest little suspicion going on for Chip. So I mean that was just feel like what's on
Chip.
fire.
I'm leaning more towards Nick or Crystal at this point. Just for sheer numbers. Just like sheer.
Well, right, we're only down to 7.
Yeah, like
so.
I trust 3 people.
Right.
I trust Chip and Victor more than I trust Nick and Crystal.
Well, my thing about I've had Chip on my radar for a little while now. He did nominate Jmac, who was our bodyguard. And then I forgot he also
God, you guys take
nominated
notes.
Malachi, who was a villager.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on notes.
I did nominate Jmac, and you seconded him.
Nicely that Crystal left that out of that comment against Chip.
Very interesting.
You guys take some crazy
But
notes.
I didn't call Malachi out as being a werewolf, and he was a villager. So that's just 2. And going by votes doesn't mean anything, but he's on my list. It was him or Blake, and that's all I have on my list.
What you got, Chris?
I was going to say, if Chip is indeed good, Victor has now voted up for 2 werewolves and down for 1 person, which makes me even more suspicious if he's good.
Right.
And then Crystal
Right.
also sounds very suspicious with her thumb down on Chip and everything else that was said.
Do I have a nomination?
Well, I've told you how my votes have been. I want more information first before we finally decide. But this time I have had a little bit suspicion for Chip.
Like you were suspicious of Nick P earlier, and now that I know that you're definitely good, can you explain a little bit more?
Like I said, it was literally just because I played, I think, 2 games with him, and both times he was killed in the first 3 or 4 people, and so the fact that he's made it this far, makes me think he could be a werewolf. He also, I do think he's been a little bit quieter than I don't know. I don't know.
I don't agree with that, but I will say that there were a lot of people that in my mind, made it just as far as I did, like halfway through the game, which it was also a little strange to me. That was my thinking too. But like people that I would have on a hit list before I would be in terms of people that you'd want to kill off. So.
All right, I still need a nomination here, folks.
Well, I'm going to nominate Nick, and I know that he did a second vote for somebody earlier, but it just felt like at this point, it feels like a nicely placed kind of nugget, like not a werewolf drop-in for us right there, and I'm going to nominate him right now because it's just, All
right, Nick, what's your defense?
Sure. I mean, I said most of it. I voted up on pretty much everyone, I think, except for the one that I seconded for Sonya, and I agreed everything with what Mike was saying. You just taken out Jigsaw. I agreed with what he was putting out there about Sonya, and that's why I jumped on it. I actually didn't have a chance to explain my reasoning before Sonya got nominated and did her defense, but I was planning to kind of explain why I agreed with that as well. But yeah, that's what I've got.
All right. Thumbs for Nick.
This is second.
This is the second one, yes. 1, 2, 3.
All
All right, so Blake, Matthew, and Jordan voted down. Everyone else voted up.
Okay, guys. Maybe I was
I nominate
wrong
Crystal.
to vote up.
Chris.
Who nominated Crystal?
Chris.
Chip did. All right, Crystal, what's your defense?
Well, I already kind of gave it, right? So if, like I said, well, we don't have to kill anybody because, right, we've already not killed somebody on a previous round. But like I said, my suspicion has been on Chip for several rounds now, actually. And I'm a villager.
All right. Thumbs for Crystal. Ready. 1, 2, 3. That's 5-3. And Crystal, you are dead. And Crystal was indeed a werewolf. Good night, everybody. Game ain't over yet. All righty. Start with the bodyguard. Who would you like to protect tonight? Thank you. Werewolf or werewolves? Who would you like to take out? Thank you. Seer, who would you like to know about? Thank you. All right, good morning, everyone, but don't unmute yourselves yet. Blake, you've been murderized, but you can take one person with you. You can unmute, Blake, and tell us who that person will be, but you need to tell me right away.
Victor.
You're taking Victor?
Yeah.
All
Sorry.
right. That was a good shot because Victor was indeed a werewolf. However, the game is not over yet. Blake and Victor are gone.
Boom.
And all you know is at this point in time, there's not 3 werewolves because if so, they would win.
So there were 3 werewolves last day. That means because we killed 2. That means there was 3 werewolves last day. We almost lost.
Yeah. There's
Wow.
at least
So-
one left.
The people who voted to keep Crystal were
I
Nick,
did.
Matthew, and Victor, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Nick, you're
Not
muted,
Nick.
by the way.
What did Nick?
Wait, did
Nick
Victor
go
vote
down?
yes or
Maybe
no?
I
missed that one.
Chip,
I
you're
don't keep
muted too.
screenshots.
Thank you.
Victor voted down, I believe. I think me and Matthew and Crystal herself.
Oh, Crystal. Yeah, obviously.
That was I just wasn't sure. I didn't agree or disagree strongly enough. Sasquatch's turned.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was 3 left, so that I didn't think we were going into a situation where we could have ended it today.
I thought we had 1, and we could have a night where we didn't kill.
Right. I was and
yeah.
I believed her defense, and obviously that was incorrect.
I'm gonna let Chris and Jordan lead the nomination here because they're the only 2 that are worth.
What do you think, Jordan?
Well-
I'm down. For me, it's personally down to Matthew and Nick, but I don't know.
It's definitely
More
Matthew and
Matthew
Nick,
than
right?
Nick.
Like I nominated Crystal last night. I mean, it could be a crazy good move for me as a wolf to nominate one of my.
I don't
wolves,
think.
but
I think it's Nick because I think Chip's good, but.
And I would say the same about Matthew because
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how you made it when you made it seem like you were the seer with all the people you were coming out as being good without.
I
kind
said
of
too many
saying it.
people. That's too many people for this year. No.
Right.
I
No,
also
I
would have come
agree.
out. I've been pushing
I
for the seer to
agree,
come out.
but
So.
I just think it's a little suspicious that you've made it further and further with you coming out with a bunch of people that.
Well, obviously I was wrong because I trusted a lot of people that were like I trusted Victor.
Here's the
I think
wrinkle.
Victor probably kept
Here's
me
the
alive
wrinkle,
because I
guys.
trusted Victor.
The problem is we didn't get really great information from our Frankenstein because the night we kept Jmac alive, it was like day 7, and that's potentially the day the Sasquatch got turned. So if you looked at Chris or Jordan before that, that information is not necessarily valid.
Oof.
So
He said he looked at Ayahu.
That makes it a lot tougher if that's the case.
So Chris and Chip, both of you mentioned Matthew and Nick. I agree with those two. So I say the three of us form a block and pick one. What do you guys think?
Well, if what Chip's saying now, that
I see the fact that Jordan just ignored completely what I just said.
Yeah, is that actually true? Was it? I guess it was after, so we don't know. Oh, man.
When do we think a person could have turned? You're saying that
Day 7. Day 7 is when Jmac came out as bodyguard on the last vote, and we kept him alive. And that night, Roy died, and the next day is when Steve came out and called out Ayahu, and we killed him. And he said that night he looked at Ayahu. It was his most recent look. So
someone could. That does throw a wrench in it. I was thinking Matthew, but now I don't know if that info is accurate now because.
Chip, you said I ignored something. It may have glitched. I don't know what you said that I ignored.
I said that basically you and Chris are not necessarily confirmed because his correct reads happened before we kept Jmac alive. And that's potentially the night where the Sasquatch got turned.
If he was still alive, yeah.
Or he didn't got turned the first day. He could have got turned the first day.
Yes, or the Tanner could have gotten turned the first day.
I'd just been assuming that they turned super early.
All right.
The Tanner we didn't. The problem is there's only one other day when there could have been a turning.
That's true.
And that's the first day.
Nomination?
Well, it's the first one. I'll go with Jordan. Or not Jordan, Matthew.
All right, Matthew, been nominated. What's your defense?
I'm a villager. When I die, if you kill me, I think you need to kill Nick next. Because I feel like I feel like you guys know it's either 50-50. Probably, likely it's a 50-50 between Nick or me. I'm pretty sure it's Nick because I'm good, but maybe I'm wrong and it's one of Chip's suspicions. But I feel like the best odds we have are killing me or Nick. I think we should go to a second nomination on Nick and then maybe come back to me if you really want to.
All right, we're voting for Matthew. Thumbs. Ready. 1, 2, 3.
I'm gonna say
want to come back.
I'm gonna say Matthew. Matthew, it's not me. It's not me. I am a villager. I believe you. Actually, now I was thinking it was you because I thought it was a 50-50 between us. But from what Chip's saying now, I'm nervous that it might be Jordan or Chris, and that's what I'm. So I don't know if it's you anymore. And I'm kind of nervous that it. Because if that's true,
actually, no. So here's the thing, though. Never mind. Here's the thing. I hope I almost screwed this up. When we voted Steve down, the night after that, he said he looked at the people that vote him, but somebody that voted him down, and that person was that he looked at. Because it was Jordan and Malachi and Ayahu that voted him, and he looked at Jordan, so Jordan got cleared afterwards. So that's
Jordan's definitely good.
Do we know about Chris then?
He mentioned Chris before he was killed, but I don't know if he had mentioned him earlier than that.
He mentioned him when he was put first on the stand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have a second nomination?
If you're saying Jordan's good, then I feel better about this.
I nominate Nick.
Nominate Chris.
Oh. I'm sorry, I heard Nick first. Who nominated Nick?
I did.
All right, Nick, what's your defense?
I think it's Chris. If that's true, I'm a villager. I was thinking Matthew based on it before, but now knowing that Jordan was cleared after the fact, from what Chip's saying, then now I think it's Chris. And I don't think it's Matthew because of his defense from before.
All right, thumbs for Nick. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That's 3 down, 2 up. Nick, you are dead.
Yeah, don't come after me.
And
Don't come after
indeed, Nick was the remaining werewolf, which means the villagers have won.
No!
the game.
Good job.
No!
Good job.
I called it. I called it, Nick.
No!
Jordan,
For the two of you, regardless.
the night I was killed, I had picked up Nick, but I got killed that night, and I didn't.
Hang on, I'm going to let everyone talk in just a second. Let me run through the post-game information here, then you can all yell. So the original werewolves were Jigsaw, Charles, who was cursed and then also became the mummy, Sonia, and Crystal. Nick was the tanner. He was killed by the werewolves the first night and became the werewolf. And then the Sasquatch turned. That was a Yahoo, but he turned, and Steve looked at him that night. And then Victor was not originally a werewolf, but became a werewolf after Charles was killed because he was the dream wolf. He was also cursed. Jigsaw pulled that whole curse thing out of his butt. He was never cursed. The cursed people were Tyrus, Chris, Victor, Charles, and Matthew. Jmac was the bodyguard and protected the werewolves many times. Kyle was the priest and never got to do anything. Jason was the seer, probably would have given you information, but if you watched him, anytime he started going out of his way to defend someone, he had looked at him the previous night. Steve was Frankenstein. Blake was the hunter. Before we go back on, I do have a question for Victor and Nick. I do not understand why you picked Blake, knowing that he could kill one of you.
So my thought was that I didn't want him going. Let's say he was like at the end. Let's just say there was like 3 or 4 of us left, and the fact that Jordan and Chris were like cleared. I thought it was very, like, it was going to be so obvious, like, they're so cleared. We thought we had, like, the Frankenstein Seer. So I thought, like, maybe that Blake would take a shot at, like, Chip or Matthew.
Got it.
So that was my hope there.
That was my. I wasn't sure at
Glad
first,
he
too,
didn't,
Tom,
like,
but I thought with knowing the hunt, I mean, I guess it could have been Jordan or Chris we went for, but I thought the best chance, because there was already a lot of suspicion on Crystal. Victor had been voting exact same as Crystal the last couple times, so I was a little nervous about that. And I actually thought Blake was going to go for me, but I thought we had to take that chance because I didn't think it was going to.
Well, speaking of that, I thought the werewolves had it, and then Chip, you pulled some theory out there that almost made the villagers lose. And Nick was all over that one.
Or Nick, and it didn't matter which we killed during the day. Like, we would have still ended up on the next day with 2-1. So
sure, but if I was Nick, I would have killed probably Jordan to the one that was safe, and then it would have still been tricky.
It still would have been like
there still would have been the suspicion. Yeah.
Jason, you totally. I did think it became very obvious. Obviously, I had.
Oh, I know it was obvious, but the thing was, I couldn't. The problem was, I looked at you and Roy first, and I knew that there was a dream wolf that turned, and then I only looked at 2 more people, so I didn't have enough. I didn't have enough that I felt I could give it out yet.
Well, but he did. You did.
Oh, who was the dream wolf?
Hold on, Jason.
Jason
did. When every time he would check somebody, then he was like. Then turn around like, oh, no, I think you're good. This is the note that I didn't show this one, but I had this note written to the other werewolves because I was the dream wolf. And all of a sudden, Jason at one point was like, no, Victor, I trust you. I trust you. You're good. So he checked me when I was the dream wolf, and I picked up on that. So I knew at some point when I said, Jason, let's kill Jason. That's what I wrote.
Yeah.
So what I'm surprised about, Victor, is if you knew that I looked at you early.
That's a question too. We should have kept him. We should have kept him one more round or a couple more.
I thought let's kill him off because he's going to keep he's going to keep getting more information. So once I finally was like, no, he's a seer. We need to get rid of him because he's just going to glean more information, and then. It's going to give more information to the rest of the group.
Oh, Steve, I have a question for you. Why did you vote up for Jigsaw when you knew he was guilty? Because that vote was only one difference. Steve, you're muted.
You're muted.
Well, because I was afraid that I don't remember what nomination that was. If it was a third nomination, I would have voted down. It was the first nomination, so I felt that it would have been suspicious to vote down and be one of the few down votes on a first nomination. And I was hoping to last long enough to, out as many werewolves as I could. Had Jordan not voted down on me when he did, so I wasted, so to speak, checking him, I would have been able to get out that Nick was a werewolf. But I died that night. I checked him and I died that night, and I couldn't get it out. I tried to save myself when I changed into the Bodyguard, but Jmac had saved me the night before. And I'm trying to point at myself, and Tom is telling me I can't do it 2 nights.
The problem with that is
I messed up there. I almost protected myself because I knew I was going to die.
Yeah.
But I thought I had to protect you. But if I would have done that, it would have changed the game up a lot.
It
really would have. I was very nervous.
When were you
about
planning
that
to come
one.
out though?
Yeah. I thought.
Oh, I was going to wait at least another day, but I didn't think I thought I was going to die that night. So I didn't think I could wait another night.
I will say I had it already. Like when Blake started saying, when you were onto it so quick, but when you started saying that I shouldn't have lasted this long if I wasn't a werewolf, I had the whole defense ready. I mean Victor was good in the beginning, so there was a lot of people thinking he was good for quite a while. So and a Yahoo wasn't a werewolf until that same night that Steve checked him. So that
my
was
game sucked.
It was horrible luck. But I will say this is, if a Yahoo was not the Sasquatch and did not turn on that night, I was for sure going to use that as a viable thing. I was going to say a Yahoo's still in the game. A lot of people have the same reasoning for that. I 100% was going to use that. And then I was thinking about it as I was about to say it, and then me, Victor, and Yahoo were all still around, and I was like, I can't really use that as an event. We're all werewolves, of course.
So I have a question for Mike. So
Yes.
did you actually believe that we voted on Kyle and then I voted down? Because I totally bought that. If that was your strategy.
Yeah, I was confused.
No, actually, what I wrote down was actually I hate the Saw movies, and I was like, I wanted you dead just because you had Jigsaw as your name, and I hate that movie. So that's all it was. So actually, the MVP of this game is Blake. If he hadn't taken out Victor, it would have been over. That was awesome, dude.
So I got to hear Blake.
Yeah.
Blake, why did you pick me? I'm just
Well,
curious.
actually, I was suspicious of you for a while because I felt like you'd been seconding things, and I just didn't want to say that out loud because I knew if I had said I was suspicious of you, like they probably wouldn't kill me. So I was like, if they kill me, I'm going for Victor because I'm about 80% sure he's a werewolf. And if they had killed me anytime before that, I was suspicious of Crystal after she killed Josh because her explanation was that like, oh, he kind of wavered in a vote. So I was gunning for Crystal for a while too. But yeah.
Dang it.
So
Nice.
I blame it on this.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So after I turned off the recording, Jason did ask the person who played the Tanner if, why they didn't come out as the Tanner, and they said they didn't want to play for just a minute or two, and they got to play for the entire game. They ultimately lost, but that was probably them picking the hunter, I think, there at the end, rather than one of the people who everyone knew was innocent. But yeah, so this is an interesting thing, and I'd love to see what you think about this subject in the comments below. Now, this is an easy fix for me. I'll play with Poison Tanner next time. A Poison Tanner means that if the villagers kill the Tanner wins, but also a random villager dies along with the Tanner. So that's to stop the Tanner from just outing himself, everyone killing him and going their merry way. I didn't do that in this particular game, but it didn't matter. So that's... What do you think, though, in this particular game? Should the Tanner just out themselves? Is it more important to win the game? Or is it more important to have fun and try to stay in the game as long as you can? Which would you have done? I know that I would have tried to stay in the game as long as I could because that's more fun for myself. And also I thought, hey, maybe I can join the werewolves and have fun being a werewolf. That would have been my thoughts. Obviously, Jason disagrees on that. And you could see people thought kind of both ways. What are your thoughts on it? Either way, it was a lot of fun. The mummy didn't really affect this game at all. So I didn't even, I was trying some new things out with the mummy. That didn't matter. Very first person killed was a mummy. So we move on and tried everything else. But it didn't really affect the game. It made it a very interesting back and forth game. And we're even able to use a few bits of things like the cursed and the priest to help try to figure out who the villagers were at the end. So anyway, there you go. That's another werewolf game on the Dice Tower. If you want to find out about these games, there are other people besides me who run them on the Dice Tower Facebook group. So you just look for Dice Tower Werewolf on Facebook, and you can join a group of people there. I won't promise that you'll get in my games because they fill up pretty quickly, but there's lots of different people running games, and you could run your own game. Anyhow, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Werewolf on the Dice Tower.